Good morning. It is 7 o'clock, ladies and gentlemen, and the weather, for once, is very pleasant.
It's gorgeous out.
It is absolutely beautiful. Partly to mostly sunny, very warm, but not as humid. It's not going to be very warm. It's going to be 88. That's what it is in July and August.
That's very warm, but it's not.
No, it's not. Very warm is like $1.20.
Well,
Let's go out to the Death Valley, 132 degrees.
agreed. That is also very. But like, I don't think it's a commentary on. I just think it's warm where people need to drink water and notice that like it's kind of sneaky warm. All of a sudden you're sweating a lot.
If you're out there working well, it's not going to be humid. That's the great part.
Okay.
That's the great part. It's going to be 88, but it's not, and it's only going to be 88 for like a couple of hours too. It's going to take a while to get up there, and then it's going to drop off after a couple of hours. But yeah, very, very pleasant day. It's beautiful right now. Partly cloudy and warm tonight, low of 69. On Saturday, cooler with partial sun, a few showers, maybe a thunderstorm, especially in the afternoon, a high of 80. And then Sunday, mainly cloudy and cooler. High, well, they say showers and thunderstorms again, tapering late, but we'll see. Most of the time that never even happens. A high of 78 on Sunday, so the next 3 days, maybe some passing showers, and they're even saying maybe a developing thunderstorm, but we'll have to see what happens. It is sunny and 88. It is absolutely spectacular right now. I do know that. That part is evident to me that it is beautiful right now. I love August anyway, except for it's the end of summer.
I love August, and I also have like the Sunday scaries with August.
What's that?
Like the tail end of something good is happening.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. I know exactly what you're saying, that summer is about to wrap up. But
Stop.
Well, you brought it up. Don't tell me to stop. You're the one who brought it up. Oh, listen, monkey face. What is that?
It's a little tiger fun.
What's a tiger? I thought it was a monkey.
Yeah, whenever you get to the Minnesota State Fair ads.
Yep.
It's when you know. It's like when you hear the Christmas time is here, good evening and good cheer, warm streets and greetings to you all from Menards. You're like, no, it's not that time yet.
First off, you're a very talented young man, Rudy. That was very impressive.
Yeah, that was really accurate,
Can't
too.
find my keys, but I know the Menards jingle every holiday season.
Super
But I love,
impressive.
he went like this. Come into the store and walk down the street and then turn on the light. It's like just making up words as you went along.
That is the words, but
No, it's not.
That's exactly what it is. Christmas time is here. Good evening and good cheer. Warm season's greetings to
and good cheer.
Good evening and good cheer. That's exactly what it is.
I'd be more scared if he made that up. That would be almost.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, hang on. Tom was going on somewhere. Stick what up where now?
Yeah, exactly. What? What was that? No, that is the indication, though. It's like, oh, God, here it comes.
Oh.
Well, you don't mind 30 below, do you?
Shut up.
Shut up!
This is my show, and you're going to shut up.
Oh, no, that's actually, this show is done very smoothly. It couldn't possibly be yours.
This is true.
It'd be all
Shut
over
up,
the
Tom.
joint. See, there you go again. From both sides. Sounded a lot like a drunk I used to work with.
I am a drunk that you work with.
Well, that's true. I forgot. I
Yeah.
forgot. That's a different. Yeah, but you weren't a drunk when I worked with you.
Yeah, I'm sure I was.
Were you?
Yeah.
I never saw you hammered, I don't think.
No, but I mean, I still identify as a drunk.
Booze hound?
Why not?
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen you drunk. Matter of fact, I'm almost
I
positive.
1,000% know I have a photo with you where I was very drunk.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I'll find it.
Was I too?
I don't think so.
No.
You don't. Yeah, I don't even remember you ever drinking around me. It was in Vegas.
Oh, yeah, I didn't drink a lot in Vegas.
No, you were. I was supposed to be working, and I was very drunk. But I was always drunk in Vegas whenever we went there.
One of my favorites, and I won't say who it is, but showed up because the show started there at 3:30 in the morning, of course, or was it? It's a 2-hour difference in Vegas, or is it?
2.
Yeah,
Yep.
2 hours.
Yep.
Yeah. So the show started at 3:30 in the morning.
Which is insane.
One of the old sidekicks walks up on the stage. He's so drunk he can barely walk.
Yeah.
It's 3:30 in the morning. He sits down and he's going like, "God damn it, I can't. There's all I stay." He doesn't even realize we're on the air. He's going through his stuff. And I said, "Hey, we're on the air." He picks up his microphone and throws it across the room and leaves. I'm like, oh, okay, that's great.
Ooh.
I love working with you. I'll tell you, I'll never forget. That was so weird. It's like you thought it was a good idea to get that drunk and then try to do a morning show at 3:30 in the morning.
The whole concept of that
Oh, I know.
was insane. I mean, I don't know how people did it. I don't think I could even do it like sober now, is showing up at 3:30 after being out. I mean, we would literally like run back to the hotel room, attempt to put on makeup and hair, and be like, all right, let's go, guys. And we're all still drunk. I mean, we were all still drunk. And we'd be like, yeah, here's the escalator, like try to help people along. And at some point, your hangover would hit like mid-show.
Yeah.
And it was, and you're like crawling around. You're like, I just need to get back to the hotel room.
Yeah, you're standing on the escalators going, why isn't it moving? Ma'am, because these are stairs.
These are stairs.
Other than that, though, you had it locked in. What was his name again? You brought up his name yesterday, Rudy. Jeff. He used to do that. I don't know if it's clip shows or what. You brought his name up yesterday, Jeff.
Jeff Ross?
Jeff Ross.
Jeff
That's
Ross.
exactly
Yeah, I mentioned
right.
Jeff Ross.
Yeah, you mentioned Jeff Ross yesterday. He came in and did the show. He had been up do you remember this one?
Yes.
I think he was up who has been messing with my microphone? Look at this. Rickety. Anyway, so he was like, well, that's helpful. I don't care.
I was going to tighten it in the break.
Get away from me. That's all I have to say to you. Did you notice, by the way, Rudy, that Brittany's going to an Amish wedding right after the show?
Yeah, you looked a little Lydia from Beetlejuice today.
Thank you very much. It was a vibe. So I normally do my black lace.
Vibe.
I do my black lace with my black dress. But I was like, you know what? I feel a little bit like I want to look a little more edgy, so I did the white lace, and it definitely changed the vibe of the outfit.
It's got that. It's kind of where the hands are covered too. Very snazzy.
Thank you.
Very, very good. Oh, anyway, back to Jeff Ross quickly. We were in Vegas. He shows up, and you can just tell he's hungover as a sumbitch because he shows up wearing his bathrobe.
Yeah.
So he's on stage in Vegas, 5,500 people out in the audience watching the show, and it's time for him to go. And apparently he was so hungover he didn't realize he still had his headphones on. And he stood up. His headphones were yanked off his head, which then grabbed the left side of his robe and pulled the whole robe open. And he wasn't wearing clothing.
No.
Wow, really?
No.
I never heard that story before.
Yeah, Jeff, you want to dial her back there a little bit?
Wow.
But the funny thing about it is nobody even cared.
No one cared.
Like, you saw so many people flashed everything. It wasn't even that eventful. It was like, yep.
Yeah, I agree with you. It wasn't eventful at all. It's like, well, that's probably why you never heard the story, because nobody gave a rat's.
Yeah.
Nobody cared there. You could do whatever you want. It was wild.
Those were amazing trips to Vegas back in those days.
They were crazy.
Can you imagine how much dough that casino made every year when we came out there? Holy God. We started at what it used to be the Aladdin, then became Planet Hollywood.
Yeah.
And then Planet Hollywood, I don't know, they didn't want to do it, or we didn't want to do it with them, or it was too expensive or some damn thing. So we went downtown to the Golden Nugget, and we were there for, 3-4 years?
Yeah, and I loved the Golden Nugget. That was a good place for us. Because it was big still, but it felt like you could run into everybody, and the pool was amazing.
That's where Mike Molina. Remember his story the first time we were downtown?
When he wanted some cocaine.
Yeah. He wanted Coca-Cola.
I know, but it ended up being,
Walks in and he goes, hey, you guys sell Coke here, don't you?
No, it was Mexican Coke, wasn't it? He wanted,
Mexican Coke. That's right.
He wanted Mexican Coke. Because they use, like, real sugar.
Yes. That's exactly right. It was my fault, by the way, because I asked him to get the Mexican Coke.
I know. You were just casually asking him to get Mexican Coke.
So he goes into a store on the that's not the strip there. What is that? Just
downtown
Fremont
Vegas.
Street.
Fremont Street. Yep.
He goes on a Fremont Street, goes into a store and asks for a Mexican Coke. Guy goes, "What's back? It's back behind the door here." He goes back, and Molina told me there was a pile about 2 feet deep of cocaine sitting on the guy's table.
At that point, you might want to just buy it out of fear that they're going to be like, you can't leave.
But Molina, who's about 6'3", probably very broad-shouldered, very very strong guy. Probably I would put him at 6'3", probably about 250.
Yeah.
To see a guy that big sit for the rest of the morning with his face in his hands, staring at the floor.
Right.
Yeah.
He was so afraid he was going to get nabbed that he couldn't get out of there before the cops came.
Yeah. The guy was terrified.
He was. Poor Mike Molina. I still get a card from him every year. Well, 2. I get one at Christmas and one on Father's Day.
That's really sweet. He's
so
so
a great
sweet.
guy.
I loved him.
Really, really good guy. No question about it. So we were looking through the news this morning, just before the show started, and every single story is extremely negative, and they're getting more and more political by the day because, of course, this whole court system of that Biden's going to prison, Trump's going to prison, no, you're going to prison, no, I'm going to prison. Every story now has a political bent to it because one side wants the other side to burn to the ground, which is not really the American way. How did we get here?
That's that's not very helpful.
Really isn't. But what happened to let's try to work together? Is that never going to happen again? Have we ever worked together, though?
I don't know. We had such a great time yesterday in studio with those two comedians who...
It was phenomenal.
Tim and Robert.
How did you get there from talking about politics?
Well, I was going to... If you wouldn't interrupt me, I would have told...
Well, but you just interrupted me, so, I just... No, go ahead,
the
sister.
Original
Sister
interrupter.
Kristyn. She bowed again. Anyway, what?
So I was going to say is what was really fun is that they had such different viewpoints, but they were able to communicate, and it was just so fun. And you could tell right when they came in, you're like, oh yeah, like there's a divide, but like there was no problem with that.
There was no problem, and I talked about it at the beginning and the end.
I know.
Because I just asked them very quickly. I said, you guys, as long as you guys can sit next to one another and get along, that's fine with me. And it worked out great.
Yeah, they were delightful.
That's why I would like to maybe get back to that in a political sense in the United States of America and stop ripping people's throats out just because they don't agree with your bullshit politics. Because both sides have some bullshit politics.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
So, I mean, it's just hideous watching it now.
Yeah.
This guy's got to go to prison. No, your guy's got to go to prison. Do you think it's good for America to be talking about how the president and the former president should both end up in prison?
It's just not very productive. And it also is like...
I would say that's true.
It's also like, okay, well, if that's true, then do it. You don't need to like talk about how you're going to do it. Then go do it. I don't care.
Yeah.
It also, honestly, like this last like 5-6 years, the news has done this thing where you normally, if you read any of this stuff, you'd like stop in your tracks.
Yeah.
But now they've shouted so many things at us that haven't come to fruition. It's like, I don't take any of it seriously.
Good.
Because I go, meh.
Yeah.
Aliens? Meh.
Yeah.
Former presidents going to prison? Meh. Like, it might happen, might not. Meh. You take nothing. If you would have read that 10 years ago.
No, I cannot ever remember in my lifetime. I remember scuffles and all the rest of it, but it's never been this hideous.
Well, like you just taking these liberties of this person is this and that, and you're like, are they?
It almost feels like a movie that is so predictable now.
Yeah, yep.
Like you just know exactly what's going to happen. The second that Trump got arrested, I thought to myself, I guarantee that they will find the most liberal judge on the planet.
They did.
And then they did, and now it's going to go down, and then they're going to find him guilty, and then it's going to be a whole thing about, this liberal judge was on it, had it out for him. It's like, it's so predictable now. You know exactly what's going to happen.
Yeah.
It's true. Then you got the Biden side where there's cocaine in the locker and there's this and there's scam. How many? Both sides. This is why I don't have a political party, because both sides make me sick. There are good people in both parties. There's no question about that. It was proven yesterday. We had two comedians that were 180 degrees apart politically, but they stood up to it, did a great job, delivered. I thought it was a phenomenal show.
Yeah.
Because those two guys didn't let their politics get in the way. So maybe let's learn something and get your politics the hell out of my face.
Yeah, it's nice to be able to have good examples of that. Like the other day when Kristyn Burtt, spewed her hatred at me, and we went back her hatred towards me. I was the bigger man, and I walked away from that situation.
I don't remember the hatred part.
You're such an angel.
Do you remember that hatred part? Because I don't remember it.
So vivid.
She had the eyes of Scott Studwell during that interview. She was on. Oh, she was so angry.
You guys were.
Kristyn Burtt angry.
I wrote in my diary, today I witnessed a war.
A war of the worlds.
That's right.
So yeah, I just, I literally, and one of the problems that we do have, and I just mentioned this, I got to come up with an Amish name for you today if you're going to wear that outfit. What's a good Amish name for a woman?
More like a very conservative Madonna.
No, you look like you came here in a covered wagon. Let's be honest.
I like that.
I can't get in an automobile. Okay,
Even though I'm a
whatever.
little scared of horses, I'm into that.
That looks a little bit more like Madonta, please.
Oh, Madonna. Do you get
Oh,
it?
you guys are making me sad with your fashion choices of T-shirts and continuously same outfits.
What are you talking about? You complimented me on my outfit
He is
today.
killing it on the purple and purple game.
Yeah. I wear the same Coles T-shirts every week, so yeah, you are right to make fun of my fashion choices.
You guys think that I don't constantly hear whenever I hang out with guys, what are you wearing? What are you wearing? It's constant, and I love it.
I love your fashion. The other day with the whole green ensemble, I thought, man, I would, like I said, I tried red pants. People mocked me. I never wore them again.
And you know what? People mock me all the time, and then eventually they just give up. So bring it on. I like it.
I don't know what you're saying.
I like your purple on purple today. I do.
Now get away from me. Don't try to make up. It's too late.
Tommy,
It's too late. Why
friends.
don't you go get in your covered wagon and head back to the hovel?
Yeah.
You know how long it would take to get home to Eden Prairie
In a
because
wagon.
you couldn't take main roads,
No.
right?
Yeah.
No.
No. Tom, if you could just look at Brittany and say, I love you, you love me, we're a happy family.
Family. Oh, do. I don't usually lie like that, though. Is the
Oh,
problem.
you lie like a rug.
Lie like a rug. Brittany knows my whole family loves her. She knows that.
Yeah.
I try to talk them out of it. They won't listen to me.
No, why would they start now?
I got to tell you something, and I'm only saying this publicly because it's so way over the top ridiculous. Your buddy, your close pal, my daughter,
Alex,
yes.
what'd she do?
Because of the way they present the 50 states of the United States,
Yeah.
she was convinced Alaska was an island.
Oh no, Alex.
They always showed that.
No, Alex.
Oh, whoa, really?
You know, there's so many weird moments that happen because she's so smart. She's a very intelligent.
That's the
young lady.
amazing thing. How did you get there?
Where did you miss that? Where you failed as a father on that
Yes,
one.
it's my fault. And then I asked her, I said, well, do you think that Hawaii is like a bunch of islands just off the coast of California? Because that's the way it appears when they put the map up.
Yeah. Like it's a short little flight. You could just take a little boat out there.
And you know what she said to me? Well, of course not. Don't give me a course not. You're the one who thinks Alaska's an island.
Alex, we're actually concerned. You have children that you are teaching.
Yeah.
Can you please tell us?
But you're right. She's very bright. But I don't know what the hell she was thinking.
It happens to all of us. Like all of
it
a
doesn't.
sudden, something will just be a weird blind spot, and you're mortified.
You ever hear Andy thinking that Alaska's an island, you better get him to the hospital because he's having a seizure.
But Andy has blind spots.
Does he?
Oh, for sure.
Like
I
what?
bet you there's things that
Tolerance? That's one of his blind spots is tolerance. I know that. He's not very good in that venue.
He's the type though when he realizes something he goes, "Huh, I never thought of that." Like
Yeah, he does,
Yeah.
yeah.
And so we all have blind spots, but Alex, that's a rough one.
Oh, my mom has 2 master's degrees, and last week when I said I'm on my way to Boise, she goes, "Oh, are you driving or flying?" I said, "I'm flying." She goes, "That must be a super short flight down to Iowa."
Boise, Iowa.
Boise,
Idaho, Iowa.
And then I got to Portland, and I was still thinking about it. I'm like, why would my mom think that Boise is in Iowa? And while I'm in Portland, the guy goes, "Where were you yesterday?" I was like, "Oh, I was in Boise." He goes, "Huh, Iowa sucks, doesn't it?" I'm like, "What? Do you also think Boise is in Iowa?"
Idaho, Iowa. Is that what it is?
Yes, that's what it is. They think Boise is in Iowa.
Boise, Iowa.
Are they on like some weird
I have no-
Reddit
yes.
thread?
I have no idea. But
Where
yeah,
are they getting this information? And why is it 2 people?
2 people. Yeah, I bet within 72 hours of each other.
Well, Idaho is a horseshit name, though.
Ah, yeah.
Idaho is a
Not a
Idaho,
good name.
Idaho.
Yeah, exactly.
We all Daho.
We all to hoe today. Yeah,
We
we're on
all
a morning
to hoe
show. We
today.
all to hoe, okay? Oh, God, we got to take a break here. Unless you just want to have Bob shut up for the rest of the show. We could do that.
Bobby.
We'll be right back with Sandy in a couple of minutes on MyPillow's 20-year anniversary with over 80 million MyPillow sold. Mike Lindell and the MyPillow employees want to thank each and every one of you by giving you the lowest price in history on their MyPillows. Queen size MyPillow's regular price is $69.98, now only $19.98, and just $10 more for king size. MyPillow's patented fill adjusts to your exact individual needs to help you get the best sleep ever. Go to MyPillow.com, click on the radio podcast square to get Mike's amazing offer on the queen size MyPillow for only $19.98. Enter promo code TOM. In addition to this special anniversary offer on the MyPillows, you'll also receive deep discounts on all MyPillow products, such as bed sheets, mattress toppers, pet beds, mattresses, My Slippers, and so much more. Take advantage of the biggest sale in MyPillow's history. Go to MyPillow.com. Use promo code TOM to take advantage of Mike's special offer on his MyPillow. That's MyPillow.com, promo code TOM.
This is Bob Sansevere, and I want to tell you about Dave Bialke from Bialke Law. Dave represented my wife, Mary, when she had a significant workplace injury. She was very happy with the job Dave did. If you have a work-related injury and have Dave represent you, I'm betting you'll be happy too. Dave is a down-to-earth guy. He grew up in northern Minnesota, rides a Harley, and worked various jobs doing concrete, electrical, plumbing, roofing, and carpentry work. Dave works for people with work-related injuries. If you work construction, or anywhere for that matter, and you're hurt or even just hurting, you should talk to Dave. Let's face it, our bodies wear out. If your body is worn out from work, if your knees or back or shoulders hurt from things you do at work, do what Mary did. Call Dave and talk to him about it at Bialke Law to set up a free initial consultation. The number to call is 763-571-2410. That's 763-571-2410. Or visit BialkeLaw.com. That's BIALKE Law.com.
I'm here talking with my friends Michael Bilski and Brad Huckle of North American Banking Company. Guys, it seems like banking has changed quite a bit since you first opened your doors in 1998.
Yes and no. In 98, we didn't have online and mobile banking like we do today. Many banking processes have also changed. One thing that hasn't changed is we still provide a true community bank experience right here in the Twin Cities.
Our team takes the time to get to know our customers and their goals. This creates a relationship that is unique in banking today and one our customers appreciate. It's why we like to say, we provide a better banking experience.
You're absolutely right, Brad. I've been a customer for a long time. The service your team provides is phenomenal.
Thanks, Tommy.
So why not bank with my banker, North American Banking Company, a better banking experience, member FDIC, equal housing lender. Oh, God, we're getting a good laugh out of this one. I was just talking to her about the fact. You could look this up, actually, because I can't remember how many years ago it was, but, Bruce Springsteen, Mr. Man of the People, once was examined by the IRS because he tried to claim on his tax form that he was a farmer. Oh, okay, Bruce. Settle down there, farm boy. Speaking of, no, you can't even call Bob a farmer because he's from New Jersey. It's not fair.
No, not at all.
Boy, your mic sounds great this morning. Brought to you, ladies and gentlemen, Bob Sansevere Sports, brought to you by Bialke Law Firm. Heard at work. Dave Bialke goes to work for you, taking care of your workers' comp injury claims and denials. Go to BIALKElaw.com. Tell them Bob and Tom sent you. Sandy, how are you?
I'm doing just grand, and I've got a Tom. I think I've told you this one, but I don't know if Rudy has heard it, and or Brittany about the New York Giants. They had a player. They played a game in Philadelphia, right? Mm-hmm. And the next week, they had to take a plane ride. And the guy didn't understand why we take a bus to Philadelphia, but we got to take a plane to Atlanta City. That's an hour from Philadelphia. He knew how far it was, but he thought they were going to Atlanta City.
Atlanta City, man.
They went to play the Falcons. So people do have trouble with these geographic regions like your mom did.
Well, the very famous NFL city of Atlantic City.
Yeah, they get a whole sports team.
It's like, what?
Atlanta City.
I've never been to Atlantic City. You guys been there?
No.
Well, I worked there.
Well, that's right. You worked
West of Atlantic City. Yeah.
Rudy, you ever worked there?
It's never.
I haven't been there in a while, but it was a crap hole when I was there.
Do they bring in acts and all that stuff still, or do they not even do that?
Yeah.
Oh, they do still. Okay.
When I was there, Resorts International was the first casino to open, and even at at the end before I left, I haven't been there in years. The board, beautiful along the boardwalk, but you get 1 or 2 blocks off, and it's still, it's a crap hole. They didn't do anything to regentrify the rest of the city.
So it's New Orleans. Just the
boardwalk. For the most part, yeah.
It's
you get
like
out of the
New
French
Orleans.
Quarter, and it's a dump.
Yep, that's very true. It is very true, Bob. But I've never been to Atlantic City. Should I go or should I not go because it's a dump outside that 1, 2, 3 block area?
Well, I mean, I'd go to Vegas before I'd go to Atlanta City.
I suppose.
Unless you want the beach. I mean, there is a beach there.
I don't go swimming much anymore. I used to love to swim, but I haven't. And it wasn't by choice. I just stopped swimming. I don't know why.
Well, I noticed, and Brittany, when she noticed it too, I think, when we would go to to the Dominican with that radio station. Most people stayed at the pool. I was one of the few that actually went to the beach.
Right.
And then I'd go to the pool to watch the sand off.
Yeah, that was always so wild. We'd always have, you and I would always join forces and always have a beach day and a pool day. Remember that time I almost choked at that foam party because I inhaled a bunch of foam and I was leaning over the side and ended up throwing up a bunch of foam.
Yes.
It was
the
definitely
foam got a little too much for her.
I was like, all right, Bob, because Bob would always like sit, and talk with a bunch of listeners. And I was like, I'm going in the foam party. Next thing you know, I was like, I can't breathe.
Were you guys on that trip where we just literally landed? We got the shuttle to the hotel. We were there about an hour, and one of our listeners being led away by the police, he was in the casino for 1 hour, and he beat the piss out of somebody.
Oh, no.
And he was in jail the entire time we were there.
That might have been your first trip, because I don't know if I was not on the first one, but I made, what would you do, 3 total? I think I made the other 2.
Honest to God, I just, are you kidding me? He gets in a fist fight the minute he walks into the hotel. He drinking on the airplane a little bit there, were you, buddy? I don't know if he was or not, but that couldn't have been, to be in jail in the Dominican, especially because he was a black man too. So being in jail in the Dominican and being a black man, I don't know if I'd want to go through that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Probably not comfortable.
No, but it was the last year I was there for the wedding, which was actually very nice.
Yeah, it was. It was very, very pleasant.
That was Dawn. Yeah, that was an amazing wedding. That was really special. Yeah, you and I, Bob, weren't at the first one, and we went to the rest of them.
Oh, I didn't know. I thought you were at all 3 of them.
No, I didn't go to the first one.
I tried to get it removed from the last 2, but they wouldn't do it for me. So just leave her at home.
Don't worry, they almost did. They almost left me and Bob one year.
Oh, is that when the plane? What happened there? You guys got stuck at a hotel somewhere.
Oh my God, it was horrible.
That's what I heard.
They gave us the adjoining rooms, and yours, Brittany was afraid because were you afraid of bugs? What was
No, when we walked up to our rooms, my door was wide open.
Oh God!
And then the bed was all wet. And this was like a hotel they put us in because our plane, there was some malfunction. They couldn't take off, but we were at the hotel all day. And then finally they're like, we're putting you in this random like hotel resort-esque.
Steve Vukuski and his family, I think they were there too, because we all went to try to eat something, and there was nothing left at the buffet.
And then we also realized they were filling up the water from the sink when they were giving it to us, which is you're just not supposed to do. If you're not from there, you're not supposed to drink from the sink because you just won't. You most likely will get sick. But anyways, we go up. Me and Bob get put in this hotel. We had to walk like a mile to, and the door is just wide open. And it felt. This is the first time ever in my life I was like, listen, Bob, I know this is gonna sound weird. Will you come in my hotel room with me and walk through the whole thing?
Would you get stabbed instead of me?
Will you please?
Shot instead of
Listen,
me.
I think Mary will be understanding when you end up in a puddle of blood in my room. We can explain it. But yeah, that was terrifying.
I'm trying to adjust to picture Bob Sansevere as security.
I mean, what? I just needed a body.
Oh, it's just anybody would do.
I was heroic.
You were heroic. We both were walking through, like, looking left, looking right. Here comes.
It's not that big a room.
No.
That you couldn't see.
But I just wanted, like, it's an eerie feeling when the room doors just open and then the bed was all wet. Like, it felt like somebody had.
Why?
But it felt like it was like pool water. Like somebody had found this room open and messed around on my bed. And it was a very much so college-y place. Like, there was a bunch of 18-year-olds that had gone there for graduation. And
I think the bed was a golden shower, Brittany.
Thank you.
Trust me, if you don't think I know the smell of pee, you're wrong.
Sometimes not our own.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Most of the time, as a matter of fact. It's probably true. So, Bob.
Yes, sir.
Your Twins won last night. They took 2 out of 3 from one of the worst teams in baseball.
Oh, they have an insurmountable 2.5 game lead.
Insurmountable, Bob.
And I said, every one of the teams except for the Twins dumped before the trade deadline.
Right.
They all said, here, Twins, you could have this crap hole of a division. And they, but they got to do something with that. Actually get things together. And I don't know if they ever will. I mean, can they break the 18-game losing streak in the postseason?
I know.
18 games. Incredible.
Bob, it is absolutely incredible to lose 18 straight games in the playoffs. You'd have to try to do that.
And they did.
You think it's fixed?
It appears. Well, I mean, what organization other than the Washington Generals would say, yeah, we'll lose every game we play?
Yeah.
I mean, nobody wants to do that. And these, their leadership group it's embarrassing to them to have all these losses. So you'd think that they'd want to get something cooking. So we'll see. Rocco, the eye-tie will get it going, I'm sure.
Yes, I'm sure that'll happen, Bob. So we got, 9 days till the first Viking game a week from Sunday?
Well, they had a big, it started last night with the Hall of Fame game. No real starters in it, but the Cleveland beat the Jets. But last night the Vikings had a night practice they invited fans to, and the defense, as Brian Flores' defense, was sacking, got like a dozen sacks. They were all over the place. And Brian Asamoah is the guy, the linebacker, that he's getting a lot of talk in camp that people are believing, or certain these media ones are fawning over, that he'll be the next big thing on defense. So, because he fits that Brian Flores defense very well.
So, do you think they'll
be? Can move.
How many games they win last year?
Was it 14, 13?
Yeah, they were
14
and 3 at the end of the year, I think. Right?
14-3, and went nowhere in the playoffs.
Yeah.
They lost to the Giants, a team that they should not have lost.
No, you're absolutely right. So, do you think we'll take a click up this year?
It was 13-4, by the way.
13-4.
No,
okay.
I think they could take a click up in terms of being a better team defensively, but a lot of those 13 wins were one-score games. It's hard to win all those one-score games.
Yep.
It's 2 years in a row. They just hit it right, and certainly didn't hit it right in the postseason. But, so I think the defense will be very improved, and I mean, really, the offense, it should be really good, too. Jordan Addison is getting, our pal that goes 140 miles an hour because he had a dog emergency. He's been looking great in camp. So you've got him, and you got Justin Jefferson and Hawkinson. I mean, that's really good what they have cooking there.
I'm hoping. I've been a huge Viking fan for a long, long time, and they did look good last year in the regular season. But, my God, the second those playoffs start, they suck.
Well, the second everything goes belly up, at least we got Judd saying,
I hate this effing team.
There you go. Exactly right. And he was talking about all of them, not just one.
Yes.
Yeah. Cover his bases.
Bob, do you think they'll improve on? I mean, it's first of all the record if it stays where
Not
it
on
is.
the record. I think they'll improve, as a team, because you don't have to have a better record or the same record to be a better team.
Right.
They have a tough schedule. No question about that. And I think the teams in the division are better. Because you got Justin, people are raving about him. He's like the MVP favorite in some Vegas, odds makers have him there. But a team like that can beat anyone if your quarterback is hot and gets going. So I don't think the Bears are going to be a real threat in the division, but Detroit is a better team. And that's in the Packers. You think they're going to regress, but we'll see what Jordan Love can do. I don't think they're going to be a factor. I think the Vikings still are the division favorites because they haven't really. Yes, they did lose Dalvin Cook, but Alexander Mattison, every time Cook didn't play, he stepped right in and put up nice numbers. He has to stay healthy.
Yeah, Dalvin Cook.
The drop off from him to the next guy is big.
Dalvin Cook wasn't much the last couple of years. Well, I guess 2 years ago he was fine, but last year he was very mediocre.
No, his numbers went down, but he's gonna wind up signing a decent deal, not the kind he wants.
Right.
And he's been talking to the Jets now because apparently he must think that Aaron Rodgers going to the Jets is like Tom Brady going to Tampa Bay. That's the guy do you want to follow?
Yeah, maybe. Who knows? Who knows what the deal is? But the Vikings, the first game, as we said, just a week from Sunday. Who are they playing the first game?
First exhibition game. I don't really know, and I don't really care.
I understand, but I was just kind of wondering.
No, you're right. It's something that, yes, I should absolutely know. But do you really? I mean, I'll find it here, but it's not something I learned years ago covering this team. The preseason is the only time it had any meaning. It's the Seahawks.
Yeah.
And it's actually it's a Thursday night game, August 10th.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then they got the Titans and they've got the
Cardinals.
Yeah. So they're on the road though with Seattle. And then they have the other two are at home.
So I'm going to miss their first game because I have to do something on August 10th, so I'm not going to be able to watch their first game. But like you said, it's preseason, so who cares? I guess. But
Yeah,
I still like watching them.
But Tom, they open with the Buccaneers at home, but then they go to Philadelphia
4 days later.
4 days.
That game is, so
Wow.
September 10th, they play the Buccaneers, and then September 14th, they play the Eagles.
That's insane.
Oof, that's going to be rough. Yeah.
That is
That's
not.
one of those early featured games.
Yeah, it must be. Yeah. Sunday to Thursday, yeah. Oh, no thanks.
Okay. Now they and two of their first. They got the Chargers too at home.
Mm-hmm.
Then they're at the Panthers, but then they got the Chiefs,
The
and
Chiefs.
the Bears,
Yep.
and the Niners, and then the Packers. So I mean, their early schedule, it's not a cakewalk by any means.
Doesn't seem like it.
No,
They should beat they should beat the Buccaneers without Brady, but their defense is pretty good in Tampa. We'll see.
Plus, they play the Bengals this year, December 17th. They haven't given a time yet, but that's good. That's a rough schedule.
Well, and that's what I mean about it's not the record is tougher than it was last year. But that happens when you win a division. You wind up getting good teams on your schedule.
It is true. So we covered baseball. We covered football. There's is there an all-time leading scorer now in the WNBA? Did I see that?
Yes.
10,000
Diana
points.
Taurasi. Yeah. She's been playing about 60 years.
No, isn't she like 42 though?
She had a 42-point performance, which would match then her age if she's indeed 42.
She looks like she's 42. I'll tell you that.
She really has been around forever.
Forever, she has.
Yeah. She I'm trying to look at her first year coming in. She was 18 in 2000. So yeah, she's up there.
So she's 41.
41. They got her at 41. Yep.
I was just kidding. She actually is 41.
Well, yeah. I mean, you'd have to be in the league that long to put up 10,000.
Well, that's true. Yeah.
She's the all-time leading scorer by more than 2,400 points.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's had herself a career. No
Hell of a
question about
talent.
it.
Yeah, hell of a talent. No question about it. But
Yeah.
very, very impressive. But 41, man. How did she stay with I was going to say the young Bucks, but she doesn't play with Bucks. She plays with Does. The young Does.
Hey-o.
What do you think?
I mean, I love it.
But seriously, at 41, how the hell do you stay with the 25-year-olds? That's amazing.
That's impressive.
It really is.
Yeah, you could study her.
All right, Sandy, what else?
Well, you know what? The Twins. What else is there really? Do you really care
True.
about much? I haven't heard anything new with the Gophers. You know, with PJ Fleck, I think the players are still applauding when he walks in the room.
Oh, God.
That's true. There's no ego on this guy.
Whatever. Listen, I know everybody's giving this guy flack, but whatever happened to just having some respect for, your coach and your elders?
Flack.
Yeah, listen, when the stuff they were talking about, like even the stuff that I was reading about Lizzo that she was doing, quote unquote, to her dancers and all this stuff, it was like, this is what you signed up for, to be on the road with a pop star. It's alcohol, it's parties, you're living the lifestyle. I get it, there's no HR, but this is kind of what you put your name on the dotted line for. And you kind of knew the environment that PJ Fleck was running around there, didn't you?
I don't know if they knew you had to applaud when you walked in the room. That's a bit much. The other thing is he has to be at the forefront and in every possible way. He's the first one who runs on the field. He doesn't do like other coaches, let your players go out and you walk out afterward. Mm-hmm. There's a little bit too much ego going on there.
Well, and plus fact, I'll start applauding when you walk in the room when you actually win something.
Yes.
He's never won anything. I mean, that's the big problem you got.
He's got 9-win seasons, but you know what? When you you get to that, they're expanding the playoffs for the national championship. You get in that and become one of the playoff teams, and then we'll give you a little bit of a clap, clap, clap.
There you have it, man. Yeah, I don't know. It's he does what he does. He's the coach. I guess he can do whatever he wants to do. It's just I wouldn't care for that.
No, I don't know him, but I'm not a big fan of his style.
How about if you walk in the room and Dan and Amy make you applaud when they come into the room?
I stand every time they walk in the room. I take my hat off. I put it over my heart.
Yeah, that's because you're trying to get out the window. That's why you stand up. Let's be honest. I gotta go, man.
Hey, they screwed those windows shut a long time ago because I was not the first. Okay, I was not the first.
They sealed them up. That'd be really great. I've never worked for anybody like that was way too pushy. I think Hamilton once in a while could override people and drive them nuts, but he never did that to me.
Hamilton
really.
was so nice to me, so I don't
Was he?
know.
So
Yes,
there
he
you
was so nice to me. The only time I've felt this way is pretty much like the military, where they did all sorts of things like that. You
did you?
you have to stand when people
Oh,
walk into
sure,
rooms.
sure.
There's salute. There's this and that.
Yep.
And I can't say that it's not like the worst tactic, but it has to let up at some point, right? Like, I get there's like the bonding. You have to learn the acronyms. That's very, I've also been indoctrinated again, but this is the military. Can they be interchangeable? I don't know. Is that okay to use those tactics on kids that are, already stressed to the nine? I don't know.
Yeah, Bob, talking about being the first guy to run out onto the field, I was listening to some sports radio the other day, and somebody brought it up like, hey, he's the leader. He needs to be the guy. That's what you want at wartime. When you're going into battle, if you're a leader, you go out there first. And my thought was, yeah, but the guy who's leading the charge against the Russians, it doesn't just go sit on the sidelines.
Yeah.
He's in the war with all the other soldiers.
Okay,
Right.
and
Yeah.
Fleck knows when he runs out on the field, he's not going to be shot.
Yeah,
I was just
exactly.
gonna say, yeah.
He runs to the sidelines while all those other guys go out there and get their asses kicked. So why
And
don't
have
you
their
let-
little Gatorades and their
Yes.
little drinks.
Yeah, let the team go first. I agree. It should always be the team that goes first. The coach should always go last.
I got to be honest with you. I cannot picture Catherine hopping in the hot tub with a bunch of football players. Can't see it.
No.
But his wife did that, right? Didn't she do it
Weird.
all the time?
It's weird. It's super weird.
Why would
That's
she do
very
that?
weird. And I had heard that they I don't know if it's either his wife was involved or assistant coaches' wives. They would go on. I mean, they were date practices where they would go on a date with the players
That's
to
weird.
teach them how to behave with a woman.
Super
What?
weird. You know what? When
Ish.
you're young, you don't think like stuff like that is weird, and you go, oh well, they just think I'm one of them or whatever. But when you get older and you realize how crazy it would be if I hung out with an 18-year-old boy casually, and you go, oh no, that's super weird. That's crazy.
You're getting no argument from me. I don't understand what the hell the point of that whole thing is anyway. I don't get it.
I mean, it's just like that. I don't even care if nothing happens, but like for the sake, listen, that's weird. It's just plain weird.
Yeah.
There's no reason I need to be. I feel weird when we're, if there's a lake we play tennis by, and there's all these like kiddos, boys, teenage boys hanging out. If they're running around shirtless, I'm like, all right, I'm not, I just feel weird if I'm getting too involved in their shenanigans or whatever. So I can't imagine being in a hot tub, having conversations,
Yeah, weird.
a fake date. No, thank you. That's crazy.
See, as a parent, if I heard one of the coaches was fake dating my son, I'm going, no, you're not.
That's insane.
No, you're not. We're not going to be doing that. Stay in your own lane. There are lanes. Stay over there.
Go hang out with someone.
And you're a
you're-
thing, figure it out yourself. You shouldn't have a coach's wife taking you out to show you how to behave on a date.
Yeah.
It's insulting.
It's the YouTube generation. You should just be able to look those tutorials up
Yeah.
online to figure out how
There
you
you go.
And also,
Or-
it's common sense.
Or
you
just
know?
go fail. Go fail and have an awkward date, and you will talk about it for years.
Why are you looking at me when you said that? Failing on dates. Why are you
Don't
staring at
fail.
me?
Yeah.
Don't fail, Tom. Once again, my favorite line still is I called this very, very cute young girl at the time. I was, I think, 17. I called her up and asked her out on a date, and she said, well, I would, but I'm not really your type.
I'm not your type.
It's not you're not my type. I'm not your type.
I'm just not your
Oh,
type,
okay.
Tom.
I love that stuff.
I don't care who you are. I have a real problem with in the moment when after the first date, when somebody asks me for that second date, I always have to say yes. I don't care how emotionally strong
yeah.
you are,
Yep.
but when they ask you in person, and then I'll maybe follow up with like a, hey, I just don't think this is working out text, but I don't know what it is about that in person, the way they're vulnerable and saying, hey, I'd love to do this again. I would go, me too, I'd love that. And then I get in the car and go, why can't I get over that one interaction of, this just isn't working. I don't know what it is. It's just too harsh even for me. Like I always
Tom, you
said
may-
yes.
You may not have time for this now, but I'd love to hear how many times Brittany sat by the phone waiting for the call for the second date and it never came.
That's cool.
See, like, that never threw me off. Like, because, like, I live in the age, you have to keep in mind, where, like, we didn't wait by phones because we had texts and, you know, a phone was on
Wait
you.
by the text. It's still a phone, though.
Yeah, I know, but, like, I guess there wasn't, usually I knew if we weren't vibing. It was rare I had the misconception that I thought it was vibing and it wasn't. But it did happen often because I can keep a conversation going with somebody that they thought we were vibing and I didn't.
Okay, Bob, I got to tell you something. At the old joint, the men's and women's room right there as you came, you took a left coming in the front door.
Yep.
Walked by one day and I can hear her in there in the women's room. Come on, phone, ring!
Ring! Text me.
At least text. Give me the little ding.
Me and Rudy were talking about this tactic. This used to be like a girl tactic and a guy tactic. I've actually had this happen to me with guys more than I've known the girls to do it. But you text the person and you act like it was on accident. Like, let's say I had a big crush on Rudy and he wasn't texting me. And so I go, hey, don't forget to pick up some orange juice. Oh, my God, Rudy, I'm so sorry. That was meant for somebody else. To initiate a conversation.
Oh, God, really?
And it's
How'd that work?
so obvious.
Yeah, I do it, and I don't do it because I want attention. I do it just to kind of stick it in their craw a little bit. Like, there was this girl that I had dated, and she broke up with me. Fine, whatever.
Yeah.
And then, like, 3.5 years later, I was like, you know what? I'm just going to drop a subtle reminder that I'm still alive. So I texted and said, hey, do you know the Hulu password? Oops, sorry about that. Wrong number.
Oh, God.
It's so crazy.
Yes.
Okay, wait a minute.
So
Rudy, 3.5
unhinged.
years later, maybe it's time to move on.
No, because I had not thought about this girl in forever.
You
and I was
just
like,
you just had an unhinged moment.
yeah, there was maybe something
Totally.
earlier happened that day at work, or I was upset about traffic, or maybe my daughter cost me a bunch of dough, and I was like, you know what? I just need to feel good about me for a
I
moment.
just want to. I don't know
Yes.
why. I want them to know I'm alive.
Yep.
I totally get that. You're unwell, sir. Same.
All right, we got to take a break here, but I want all three of you to know, if you ever get a text from me that says, once you go F yourself, it's not an accident. I just want you to know that.
Oh, Tom, you text the wrong person. No,
I didn't. Absolutely not. Sandy, have a great weekend, sir.
You folks too. We'll see.
Bye,
See you,
Bob.
buddy.
Bob Sansevere Sports brought to you by Bialke Law Firm. Heard at work, Dave Bialke goes to work for you, taking care of your workers' comp injury claims and denials. Go to BIALKElaw.com. Tell them Bob and Tom sent you. Be right back after this break. Of course, Kristyn Burtt will join us right after this. This is Tommy B for our buddies at Niemeyer Trailer Sales. God, I haven't been called Tommy B in a long time. That felt good.
Oh.
I like that. Tommy B, baby. Although Johnny B used to call me and go, you stole that from me. I said, I didn't steal it from anybody. Jonathan Brandmeier is a good guy, actually. I don't know him really well, but a nice guy. He was the first Johnny B, though.
Oh, really?
He was, yep. This is Tommy B for our buddies at Niemeyer Trailer Sales. They've been a part of Minnesota since 1965. They are a family if you want to take your passion on the road and make memories camping wherever you want. No motors, but pulled trailer RVs. Go to Niemeyer Trailer Sales. Father Jim Sr. started the business, and the brother and sister team. Tim and Lisa handle Albertville with Jim Jr. at the helm, of course, in Elko New Market. They're the best name in non-motorized RVs with great deals on the best brands like Rockwood and Northwood. Niemeyer Trailer Sales truly outservices their competition with personable employees, often sons and daughters of this third-generation family-owned business. They simply do what they say they will do.
This is the Tom Barnard Morning.
I don't know why that fired.
What the hell is that all about?
Yep.
You know, I just got a call from Niemeyer. They're crying over there now because they got trampled. They're the best name in non-motorized RVs with great deals on the best brands like Rockwood and Northwood. Niemeyer Trailer Sales truly outservices their competition with personable employees, often sons and daughters of this third-generation family-owned business. They simply do what they say they will do every time because their name is on the building. And with a huge selection in RV service pros, you will leave satisfied no matter what you are looking for. Niemeyer takes care of every memory maker, and I'm talking about customers. I mean customers that come in their Albertville or Elko New Market location. Head to NIEMEYERS.com and put your passion on the road. Niemeyer Trailer Sales. There's plenty of thoughts that come into your head when you think the name Killebrew. Of course, there's the Minnesota baseball legend, Harmon, who was responsible for many a favorite memory at the old Met Stadium in Bloomington, and many a baseball that ended up in the stands and in the gloves of adoring fans from his home runs. There's Killebrew Drive, the legendary road that connects Highway 77 to the Mall of America, and a day of shopping you'll never forget. My current thoughts for the name Killebrew is fun floats in our kitchen with my kids and grandkids, a cool, refreshing break in between innings at Target or CHS Field. Or maybe a perfect sunset paired with a sweet, frothy beverage after fishing or on your favorite walleye lake. Killebrew root beer and cream soda. Grab a six-pack at a grocery or convenience store near you. I'm Tom Barnard. This spring and summer, enjoy the one Killebrew root beer and cream soda. Gluten and caffeine-free with a generous portion of delicious thrown in. Killebrew, where memories are created and legends are made. Hi, this is Tom Barnard here for Power Lodge and Miller Marine. Attention all power sports enthusiasts. This August, we invite you to celebrate with Power Lodge as we hit a major milestone, 25 years of bringing action and excitement to Minnesota as your go-to destination for all things marine and power sports. To say thank you, each of our locations will host a local community appreciation day. Join us in Brainerd, Ramsey, Onamia, or Sauk Rapids as we roll out the red carpet with delicious food, amazing prizes, fantastic giveaways, and unbeatable special pricing. As the grand prizes, we'll be raffling off a variety of Polaris ATVs and snowmobiles. Check out powerlodge.com for event dates nearest you. And that's not all. Throughout August, we've got something special planned. Follow us on social media as we unveil 25 days of deals on the latest off-road and on-road vehicles, boats, and supplies from the top brands in power sports. That's right, 25 days of back-to-back incredible offers. You won't want to miss this. So mark your calendars and get in on the action during our 25th anniversary. Power Lodge, where your adventure begins.
All right, Kristyn, before Tom gets on the mic.
You mean like now?
What's going on with the Eras Tour? Are they filming it? Is that what's happening? You think
it's being filmed? Yes. I'm gonna guess too, because she already has a relationship with Netflix, that it's gonna wind up on Netflix. That's my guess.
Who's this we're talking about?
Taylor Swift.
Oh,
Taylor Swift was at SoFi Stadium last night for, I think she's doing, is it eight concerts? Yeah, she's doing 6.
They're asking her to not do that now, you know.
I saw that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some union.
So the hotel, hospitality workers are on strike. Oh. And they asked if she would push her shows back, and there was no comment from Taylor's people.
I mean, the amount of things that would have to stop for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that would be a disaster if she did cancel it, just because, and I understand lots of people come to town, they're staying at the hotels, people are crossing picket lines to check in, but I don't think, it's not like a reasonable ask. It's reasonable to ask her not to stay at a hotel that is currently being picketed.
Sure.
That, I think, is totally fair.
Yeah.
I mean, look at all the other people who would lose money because he couldn't work. I mean,
people
don't ever look at who they're hurting because you're being hurt.
Yeah, then you've got 6 stadium full of people that could be flying in or whatever, would have to reschedule and all the things. Yeah.
And you have an entire town on strike right now, where support services right now are suffering already. Right. So this influx of people only helps the city.
Yeah, there's no question about that. I often wonder about that whole deal. When large groups of people get together and ask you or demand that you do something, you got to think it through better than that, because you're hurting a lot of other people. Yeah. Just because you're being hurt doesn't mean you should hurt other people as well.
It's true.
Yeah, I think it would have been more powerful to just say,
absolutely.
I don't know if you're staying at a hotel. We would love for you to not stay at a struck hotel. That would have been fabulous. And then she could have made a statement if she's like, hey, I'm not staying at a hotel. I'm not putting my dancers up at a hotel. We're staying at this hotel that is adhering to union guidelines. Whatever it is, that would have been way better.
I would agree with you 100%. But people don't think things through like that anymore. They just start puking things out without even thinking about what they're saying. It's just, it's a very odd request, first of all. There's no way she could have done it, and that's why there was no comment. There's no way she could do that. There are contracts signed and all the rest of it.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Maybe they look at it.
I don't know. It would have been better just to craft that media message. And I think sometimes when it comes to media, and you really have to think outside the box, think about the logistics, and think about where you can make the greatest impact. And I think they missed the opportunity.
You ever been on strike where you literally had to picket?
I could pick it right now.
Well, you could,
It's
but I
not my
mean, if you had
contract,
to.
but I mean, I do plan on going out at least one day and supporting my fellow actors because I am a SAG-AFTRA member.
But wait a second. Don't just because you're walking on the balcony, go team. That means nothing.
With
Okay.
coffee in your hand.
I got a big pop. Exactly.
Go, guys.
I just
you
put
got
down
this.
Universal down the street, so I could go down to Universal or CBS Radford or
There you go.
Warner Brothers or Disney. So
Are you not that far from Warner Brothers?
I'm close to all of those.
Are
yeah.
you? Okay, good. Yeah, I know that. I know that area kind of somewhat well, but yeah, I know the area you're in. Okay, right on.
I'm in the neighborhood.
See,
In the neighborhood.
big shot Hollywood star that you
So
are.
fancy.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm in my closet with my cat.
Have you met George Clooney?
Mr. Clooney?
Yeah, don't you hate that when you're like, I
Clooney
live.
does not live far away, actually.
Oh.
George Clooney has lived in the same house pre-ER days, and he and
Really?
Amal lived there. And I mean, it's not that secret like where he lives, but it's on one of the most famous hiking trails. So you come down the hiking trail, and on the right-hand side is his little compound. It's not a huge compound, but you know, he's got some land there, and that's where they quarantined.
No, this is not Hollywood, but you just popped into my mind another purchase of a residence. Did you see that one of Estee Lauder's sons bought Rush Limbaugh's house on Palm Beach Island? Did you hear about this?
No.
One of Estee Lauder's, and Estee Lauder left what, like billions of dollars to her family. I mean, Mike, have you ever seen her house on Palm Beach Island? I thought it was the Breakers Hotel, for Christ's sake. It's like, God. But anyway, so her son buys Rush Limbaugh's residence, buys it for $115 million, and he's going to tear it down.
Yeah.
I mean, my God. That's having money right there. That's
Yeah,
having
you
money.
don't even think about it. That's very LA too. LA doesn't protect architecture very well.
Oh, really?
And we have all of these beautiful mid-century modern ranch homes that have like a really beautiful open floor plan. They're on double lots, so it opens up to a huge backyard with a pool. You can have like that indoor-outdoor living situation, and they get torn down after they're bought. And you know, the owners have been in it for decades and probably bought it for $10,000. They knock them down instead of restoring them, and they build those modern farmhouses that they're not unique. It's just like, you know, one after the other, and they overtake the lot. So then the house looks like it's eaten this huge lot of land.
You know, it's hilarious you bringing that up. I was watching an episode of Dragnet the other day because I woke up really early. So I'm just looking for something to watch, and I tune into Dragnet. And they're going through, this house was a mansion, and I mean a mansion. But Dragnet was what, in the mid-50s? Or at least the early 60s, right? They're in there, and they're looking around, they're going, oh, look at this house. This thing's unbelievable. And one of them turns to the other and goes, I tell you one thing. I bet you this house cost nearly $100,000.
Oh, I wish. I
A little
wish.
different.
I'd buy 4 of them.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's do it.
But can
I
you
was like,
imagine
you
that?
can't
the
even
difference?
buy a house in Los Angeles for less than $1 million.
No.
Oh, I'm sure that's it. But
Yeah, I mean a condo, like a decent sized condo.
But that was 60-some years
700,000?
ago. That's 60 years ago. So there you go.
Yeah, I mean it's crazy. I feel like I'm going to be dying in my condo because like upgrading is such a
Yeah.
it's you know, to try and upgrade, we have to go to a different area if we want to upgrade. You know, it is what it is.
Yeah, I think Catherine and I are done moving. We kind of like where we are now, and we've lived in a few different houses. Well, I guess more than a few, but I don't want to move again ever. I really don't.
It's the worst. And honestly,
Yeah.
if I find my forever home, I'm done. I'm like, that's it.
Yep. I could see that.
I got one last move in me. One.
I understand.
Yep.
I do understand that absolutely. Very, very happy with my neighbors. First of all, Brittany, you've met some of my neighbors.
Yeah, they're lovely.
Nicest people you'd ever want to meet. Really, the great thing about my neighborhood is that all the people who come, like ProTurf came and they worked on our yard. One of our advertisers, Kristyn, and almost everybody else in the neighborhood hired them to do things at their house too. Right, so
That's
we went from
great.
house to house to house, and the guy commented to me. Rick is his name. Great guy. He goes, "Yeah, I was hearing some guy talking. He said your neighborhood." The people are really, really nice, but they wouldn't want to start trouble there. The average size of my neighbors, the guy's like 6'3", probably weighs about 240. It's like, God, these guys are, and they're young guys, most of them too. So it's like, yeah, you probably wouldn't want to start any trouble in that neighborhood either, which is a good thing, right?
That is a good thing.
No,
Everyone has each other's back.
We got so lucky. We just had, because, I lived on an island before we moved there, and I thought, oh my God, I'm going to move from an island into a neighborhood. This could be horrible. But it worked out beautifully. It's wonderful. So I'm just telling you, there is hope. That's all I'm saying.
There's hope. I will one day find my home.
And then I'll buy it and tear it down for $1.5 million or $115 million, whichever one.
Because you don't like the paint color.
I don't like the color of the paint on the walls.
The kitchen was all wrong. Just knocked down the whole house.
Wrong.
It's all true. I was looking for something to watch last night because little Fawny, our 7-year-old granddaughter, slept over, so Catherine never did come back downstairs to watch. So I figured, I was watching the Twins game. The Twins won. I tried to track down a 45-minute deal. There are too many things to choose from. TV is the best it's ever been, I'm telling you.
Yeah.
It's really good.
You know what's good right now, too, is watching The Righteous Gemstones because it's only 30 minutes, and it's just always funny. There's always a funny part in it. That daughter, that Judy, who is the daughter on that, is probably one of the funniest characters.
Yeah, her name is Edie. Kristyn, help me. Is it Edie Pepper something? I can't remember. But yes,
Pepto-Bismol.
Pepto-Bismol. Edie Pepto-Bismol. Yes.
That's her name.
Heartburn, indigestion, upset stomach, diarrhea. She is originally a groundling out in Los Angeles.
Oh yeah.
And man, she is hands down. She steals every scene she is in.
Yeah, Edie Patterson.
Yeah, right on. Yep. She's great.
Patterson,
She is she's the funniest character in that. Every one of her lines just lands. It's so funny.
How many seasons is that?
I think 3. We're on the third.
3.
This is 3 now, okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because I got to get back to watching it. I watched it the first couple, and I haven't seen it since, so I have to get back to watching that. Everybody tells me, and I mean everybody tells me that's a really good show.
It's the best.
Have you watched a full episode, or is it this a 4-minute you're in?
Boy, look at the time. We got to go. And
I love it. He's like, I watched 5 minutes. It was the worst show ever.
oh, there are a lot of those that I've been through. Believe me, there are a lot of that. Oh, God.
I finished Better Call Saul last night.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, the ending was fine. They leave it to interpretation, whatever. It was fine, but the series is great. But then I decided I was like, I need to watch something that is informative. So there's this new documentary on Netflix called Poisoned. Poisoned, what is really in our food or something like that.
I saw that. I did not want to watch that.
So I watched 12 minutes of it, and it's like, E. coli can be on spinach or in chicken, and it's killing your kids. I was like, why am I watching this?
I can't do any of that. I already know.
I turned it off. I was like, why am I doing this to myself? I know food is garbage. Why do I do it? I already know.
No control over that either. Like, what are you going to do?
You grow your own garden.
Yeah.
Yeah, couldn't do it. I was like, all right, we're done. And then I just, I don't know, drank a beer and then sat on YouTube for 20 minutes and went to bed.
There you go.
Lovely.
And tell them don't ever go after Hostess cupcakes or I'm coming after them.
I think those are not even designated as food.
That's not even
so
food.
You're fine. You can eat that. That's never going to be.
They don't even call that food, as a matter of fact.
I love devil dogs. Have you guys ever had a devil dog?
Oh, yeah, I love them.
Yeah.
Devil
Those
dogs.
are my favorite. You stick them in the freezer and then it's so delicious. But we don't have them out here. I think they're an East Coast thing.
You think? Yeah, you're probably right. Devil dogs in New York, I used to eat them.
Yeah, they don't sell them. I think the company's from New England, so I grew up on devil dogs, and my aunt used to send them to me. She used to send me boxes of devil dogs out to the West Coast. So
you used to be able to get them here. You could get them here. I don't know if you still can, but you could for a while get them here. I know that.
I've never had one. I didn't even know what
good.
it was until I looked it up just now.
Do they have them here still?
So
I have no idea.
I don't know. Drake's is the company that puts them out.
Drake's.
Yeah, they're from Brooklyn, New York. Yeah,
There
you were
you
right.
go.
Yeah.
What could be better, Kristyn?
Then a devil dog that's frozen and all super tasty.
The greatest. As we segue, very quick mention. My almost 2-year-old grandson, Andy's son, Ethan. He's 20 months old, walks over. There's a dial on the front of their freezer, their chest freezer. Turned it off. They lost, I don't know how many pounds of food because they had to throw it, because they didn't know we had turned it off. So they opened her up. It's like, oh my God, does it reek?
That's terrible.
The rancid meat alone is.
The things kids reach for. It's like, why? Stop. Our Gogo is currently reaching for the dials on the oven to turn on the burners. Just to like a little bit so the gas is on. So I was like, Justin, what do you do? Like, he's like, I didn't do that. And of course, then I see Gogo just kind of hitting them enough for the gas to be. And I'm like, so you want to kill us? Cool. Like,
Maybe you should take it as a sign, Britt.
right? Like, hint taken. She like does it and then walks out of the room like,
Bye.
bye, Mom. Bye.
So how much is a quarter of a cow to buy? Because Andy bought a quarter of a cow from a charity. How much would that be?
No idea.
I mean, that's a lot of meat. I mean,
$500-600 maybe.
yeah, that's what I was thinking about. $500-600. Had to throw it all away.
Oh boy.
$500-600 worth of
The
beef.
smell of a quarter of a cow
Done. Done.
Yeah.
I'd be done.
Okay, yeah, that was a little off. So it depends on the cow, obviously, but you're looking at about $1,240 to $1,400.
Oh my God, poor Andy.
Poor Andy.
That hurts.
Yeah, well, hopefully they got through some of it.
$1,200 worth of meat just shot in the ass
Man.
because of your 20-month-old kid.
Yeah, it kind of depends because there are some prices I see on here that are still $700 to $800.
Oh,
But
okay.
still, but nonetheless, it's still a lot of money.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Little kids, you got to keep your eye on them at all times. There's no doubt about it.
They're actual menaces to society.
And there's no question. I start moving. Hey, let me turn the light on and off and on and off and on and off. It's like, oh God.
Gogo has not discovered the light switches yet. Thank
Coming soon.
God, because if I shut something that she's supposed to shut, there will be meltdowns.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, just like cupboards, like she has to be the one to shut it. So I can't imagine what it'd be like if she has to turn off every light.
How old is she?
She's a year and 2 months.
Oh, it's going to get much worse in the next 6 months.
I know.
I know.
Well, I'm telling Kristyn, she may or may not, allegedly, she may have bit a few kids at daycare recently.
Oh, you were telling me that.
Like a sniper, like sought them out and bit them.
Does she get kicked out of daycare?
No. They're like, here's what we got to work on. And then she didn't bite anybody yesterday. But
Did
Wednesday,
she come home with a bite report?
on Wednesday, they're like, so we have an incident report. And I was like, oh, did she fall? They're like, actually? And I'm like, I couldn't even ask questions. I felt mortified. I felt like I did something wrong. I'm like, I swear we don't bite her. They're like, yeah, we know. It just happens.
Yeah, we know you don't bite your.
Oh, I felt.
They go through a
14-month-old.
phase. Yeah, they just have to learn.
Well,
It's so hard.
yeah.
I suppose that's true. Actually, just before we start the family podcast, you should come back on for the end of the show. So when Andy gets here, you guys can ask him what he did to get kicked out of preschool.
What?
I still can't believe. Every time we drive by it, we go, "Oh my God, that's the place right there."
It's mortifying.
Preschool.
What do you do?
And he thought it was just he was being funny.
Yeah.
He wasn't being a prick about it at all. Hit her in the back of the head with a broom.
Oh my God.
But it was the
Violence.
straw part, not the rod part. But they said you got to go.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
I'm so scared. If we get kicked out of daycare, I don't know. What would we do? Like, what do I do? So I'm like,
It's hard. Childcare is hard these days,
Oh
too.
yeah.
I've been trying to get people's advice, and I did get from Julia. She said, "Oh, just bite her back, and that she'll learn." I go, I don't think that's a
No.
proven thing at all.
No, that
Not
kind
recommended
that-
parenting
No,
step.
but that's like a big thing people do. Like, is that little like reaction back? They'll do like a little whatever. But I can't imagine that working because I think that would just teach that that's a tool.
Exactly.
I mean, we were laughing about it quite a bit, but
No,
yeah,
you're right about that. That would just teach them that's the thing to do.
exactly.
Yeah, don't do that. You're right. Put her like a plastic bag over her head until she just almost expires, and then pull it off.
Okay, well,
No.
I don't think that's the game plan.
Probably not.
Tyler just wrote in and said he bought a half cow in Faribault for processed and all for $1,200. So
Half one for $1,200.
yeah, so
That's
I bet it
still
was
a lot of dough, man.
Yeah, I bet you he got his.
So Rudy says about $600-700 probably.
Yeah.
It's probably about right.
I think you're on.
$700 worth of food shot in the ass because your 20-month-old wants to turn. Hey, look at this dial.
Sorry.
Oh, Ethan, what a piece of work. There's no question. You know what he's doing to me now? Because he used to come and run. He'd hold his arms up when I pick. Well, remember when he was here, he would run over. He ran over me a couple of times and all that. But he runs over now. But now when he comes and runs over and has to be picked up, he always wants something. It's not just he wants to sit on my lap anymore. It's like, go get me this.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So he's working the angle already because he knows I love it.
Yeah. He's
all
got you
true.
wrapped around his finger, his little finger.
They do. All three of them do, and they know it. That's the problem.
Yeah.
And I just love the fact that Seiji is right at that wheelhouse where he's always crabby.
Really?
That 4 or 5 year old deal. Oh my God! I mean, he's in a great mood, and then he'll just get crabbier than a sunbitch for no
They're
reason.
just tired. Kids
Yeah,
are
probably.
always
He'll probably
tired.
get tired.
I'm tired. That's why I'm crabby. I'm tired. I'm hungry.
They say terrible 2s, but I think it's more like terrible 3.5 to 5.
I
Yeah,
agree.
it's a little older than
I
2s.
agree.
Yeah.
They can be a piece of work. There's no question about that. So I just go over and I just put him in a headlock, and then he just calms down.
Oh yeah, that is a very effective parenting. You with your plastic bags and headlocks and.
Yeah.
Lock him in.
Yeah, I'm sure you're talking such a big game.
It's crazy how well we parent and grandparent nowadays
Oh,
compared
comparatively?
compared to what
Yep.
we had when we were kids. I still remember this vividly. I don't know if I've ever said this on the show, but I was at my cabin. Me and my brother-in-law were working on the deck. We're just listening to a little bit of NWA, very, very quietly in a little speaker next to us, just like sanding, the stair or something. And my uncle noticed that the kids were down on the dock. And they weren't wearing life jackets. And my uncle runs down there and he's like, God damn it, you sons of bitches. I told you how many times, if you don't put a goddamn life jacket on, I'm coming down there, I'm cracking skulls, I'm putting boots in asses. Get your goddamn shit together. And then he comes and he looks at me and he goes, hey, could you turn the rap music off? There's kids around.
There you go. I like it.
Did you guys just start laughing
I
hard?
died.
I like it. He's right, though.
It's like, in what world do you think what you just did is way okay, but what we're doing is not?
That is amazing.
Well, it depends on the lyrics of the rap music you were listening to.
So you could barely hear. Justin and I could barely hear it because there were kids. So we kept it nice and low. Yeah, no, that's exactly what happened.
I'll never, ever adjust. I will never adjust to rap music because it took the place of R&B, and it pisses me off.
I saw a license plate the other day that said R&B, and I thought of you.
God, I just love rhythm and blues music. Just a great Marvin Gaye, man. There's never going to be anybody any better. It's all true.
It's done.
It's true.
And of course, getting shot to death by your dad. What a way to go.
I know. One of those tragic Hollywood stories, too.
Shot your own kid to death over money. Isn't that amazing?
Yeah, that's terrible.
It's your own baby, you dumb son of a bitch. Whatever. So what else? Okay, so Righteous Gemstones. I'm really glad you brought that up, by the way, because I was looking for a show, because the comedies are all about 30 minutes.
Yeah, it's nice when they're a little short.
Yeah.
I think there's a place for it, right? Like, it's nice to not have, we're going to sit down for an hour. Can I ask Kristyn about Lizzo? Because I'm kind of dying.
You're out of the mix. You're out of the Lizzo mix. Forget it.
Will you tell us what's going on with Lizzo and her response that she put out yesterday?
Yeah, so, her response, first of all, it was on Notes. If anyone knows what an iPhone Notes app is, at this point in crisis PR, like, the last thing you want to do when you're issuing an apology or in a statement is to do it on iPhone Notes. So that means to me that she's not necessarily taking it seriously, or she hasn't hired a crisis PR team, because honestly, at this point, she needs a crisis PR team to deal with this, because the train has left the station. I always say this, when the story has gotten ahead of you, you're in a lot of trouble, because the court of public opinion has already formed. And those court documents, of course, they're allegations and they have to be proven in court. Already, they speak to some serious allegations if they are true. A lot of sexual harassment, a lot of things that Lizzo's always talking about empowerment, and that didn't sound like a very empowering tour whatsoever. So I think her response was a couple of days too late. She probably should have issued a response within that day. I think she was probably hoping another story, another news cycle, whether it was like Donald Trump's arrest or like other stories that are coming out there. Leah Remini, is suing the Church of Scientology. I think she was hoping that the headlines would eclipse this, but I think this one is going to be a very big deal for her, and she is going to have to navigate this, because that apology and that acknowledgement of the suit was not going to be enough, unfortunately.
And when I read through it, I didn't see of the classics that normally go in with the PR company about, I'm sorry that they feel this way or anything. It was all just, it didn't happen. It didn't happen. And
yeah, like I didn't do that. And you have to acknowledge, like, this is the thing, like maybe you think it didn't happen, but there are people who feel like that they have a case. And I think the other thing that maybe not everyone has seen, several other of her dancers who are no longer on the tour, but who are not a part of the lawsuit, went on social media and said, I'm glad these women are speaking up. That was also my experience. I am not a part of this lawsuit.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah. So I think that also, gives adds more fuel to the fire. And that's why I think Lizzo really needs to take this seriously. There was another woman on TikTok talking yesterday saying that was my experience with Lizzo, because guess what? She stole my boyfriend 10 years ago. And she goes, I've been silent for 10 years about this. And that's how she treated me. But, everybody loved Lizzo. And she's like, I just didn't want to sound like the scorned girlfriend or anything else like that. So cause she's like, obviously it was my boyfriend who left me for her.
Yeah.
But she's like, Lizzo was horrible to me because her boyfriend at the time was working with her on an MTV show. So it's really an interesting narrative because Lizzo has been so beloved for several years now. And this is like a really big challenge for her. She's going to have to try and figure her way out of this. She's going to have to hire a crisis PR team, and she's got a lawsuit ahead unless she tries to settle it.
Thank you so much for giving us the lay of the land there, because I love Lizzo. So I really don't want this to be true.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And also, I want to add to this. She's been celebrated with her show on Amazon, and she won an Emmy for it. And I think like this crosses over more than just music too. So I think that's why it's going to be really tricky for her to navigate.
What the hell are you doing?
I'm just mourning Lizzo.
I know.
You're listening to My Talk FM. What the hell?
Oh, sorry. Kristyn just always knows all the deets.
She does.
Yeah, I cover all of these stories. Do you know what I woke up to, by the way? This is kind of wild.
What?
Just speaking of Leah Remini. Leah Remini is suing the Church of Scientology.
Oh,
she left a decade ago. They've spent the last decade. She's been fighting them and winning Emmys, doing exposés on them. They've been harassing her and stalking her, allegedly. And because they actually create websites. You can see it, like they will create websites with your name in it and something derogatory, but they won't trace it back to the Church of Scientology. They like to cover their tracks. I wrote an article the other day, and they saw it up on YouTube, the Church of Scientology, and I woke up to a very terse email from their publicist. Let me just read like the first couple lines, because I was like, oh, that's interesting. And it kind of gives you an idea of what some of these people who do leave Scientology kind of endure. And it just said, your article on Leah Remini. And she wrote, Kristyn, you published a story without coming to the church for comment. Please update your story and headline with the church's statement attached. Publish the statement in full. The statement is also available at this website. And the statement is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 paragraphs.
Oh my God.
And they're demanding that is published in full. And the very first line of their statement is, the lawsuit is ludicrous and the allegations are pure lunacy. Remini spreads hate and falsehoods for a decade and is now offended when people exercise their right to free speech, exposing her for what she is, an anti-free speech bigot.
Whoa, that's a little harsh.
Yeah. So we will probably just say that they made a statement back, but, and update the article, but it's really interesting. And I mean, that must've been sent. Let me see what time it was sent too, because I was up pretty early.
Look at that purple phone. That's pretty snazzy.
Snazzy. It was sent 10:30 p.m. last night. So they are working overtime trying to find every article and every writer of those articles to try and get that statement inserted.
We should bring this up again next week, because I have no idea what Scientology even is. I know it's some kind of fake religion or something.
Allegedly. Well, because they are recognized by the government as a church.
All right.
So they don't pay taxes, and they own a majority of the real estate in Clearwater. They own a majority of the real estate of like large commercial property in Hollywood. I don't think people realize that. And there is a fabulous documentary by Alex Gibney called Going Clear. So maybe we
that's
can
right, the
discuss
clear
that.
thing.
Yeah, I don't know if everyone's seen it, but it
Yeah,
gives
it's
a
really
real
good.
kind of like
Yeah.
101 on Scientology. And Leah Remini's series, which was on A&E, fantastic. That first
really?
season,
Okay.
unbelievable.
Giovanni Ribisi's part of that deal, I think. I really love
Yes,
Giovanni Ribisi.
Elizabeth Moss,
Oh, okay.
which is I always find astonishing. Jenna Elfman, and some people won't talk. John Travolta kind
Oh, I
of
didn't know
skates
that.
by. Tom Cruise is like the second in command of Church of Scientology
right.
too. But we can do maybe a deeper dive on this next week. I know I'm running over, so but talk a little bit more about it because it really is controversial. And
Yeah.
you have Danny Masterson, who was just convicted
Right.
of raping several of the Scientology, and now they're ex-Scientology members. But
What a nice outfit it sounds like over there. Jesus.
they sound like pleasant people to
They
deal
really
with.
do. All right, young lady, we'll talk to you next week.
Yes, have a great weekend.
We shall take a break, ladies and gentlemen. You too, Kristyn. Thank you very much. We'll take a break. Be right back in a couple of minutes. The lovely and talented Chris Egert joins us next on the show.
This is the Tom Barnard Morning Show.
There's a guy named Tom Cross who likes to do kite things. Tom takes the phrase "go fly a kite" to an extreme, and for years goes all over the country in search of great kite flying events. Lincoln City, Oregon comes to mind, with Chinook winds and 7 miles of pristine beach that draws folks from all over North America for the best kite flying conditions in the world. Tom brings a little Minnesota with him when he goes to Lincoln City in his new 2109S Rockwood Mini Light travel trailer. The new lightweights from Rockwood are very popular. Tom hauls his trailer from Niemeyer Trailer Sales in Albertville and Elko New Market, Minnesota. Niemeyer Trailer Sales is the only place Tom would prepare his next kite flight. Solar panels, exterior griddle, air conditioning are just a few of the standard features in his Rockwood by Forest River, from the place that is your ultimate RV headquarters since 1965. This is Tom Barnard. Visit my friends at Niemeyer Trailer Sales and take your passion on the road. Niemeyer Trailer Sales. Go to NIEMEYERS.com. Niemeyer Trailer Sales.
This is Bob Sansevere, and I want to tell you about Dave Bialke from Bialke Law. Dave represented my wife, Mary, when she had a significant workplace injury. She was very happy with the job Dave did. If you have a work-related injury and have Dave represent you, I'm betting you'll be happy too. Dave is a down-to-earth guy. He grew up in northern Minnesota, rides a Harley, and worked various jobs doing concrete, electrical, plumbing, roofing, and carpentry work. Dave works for people with work-related injuries. If you work construction, or anywhere for that matter, and you're hurt or even just hurting, you should talk to Dave. Let's face it, our bodies wear out. If your body is worn out from work, if your knees or back or shoulders hurt from things you do at work, do what Mary did. Call Dave and talk to him about it at Bialke Law to set up a free initial consultation. The number to call is 763-571-2410. That's 763-571-2410. Or visit BialkeLaw.com. That's BIALKE Law.com.
You need to know a guy for your auto repairs, legal issues, banking, and more. The same goes for investment advice. You need a guy to help you be successful, someone you can trust who gets results. Well, I got a guy for you. Josh Arnold. Josh gives you straight talk, not sugar-coated advice about your financial situation. Josh has seen it all when it comes to economic and market conditions, and Josh can make sure that your retirement objectives match your investments. Do yourself a favor and call Josh now for a no-obligation, 48-minute evaluation. You've got nothing to lose, and you'll get a different point of view for your investments. Call Josh at 952-925-5608. That is 952-925-5608. You'll be glad that you did. And tell him his guy, Tom, sent you.
Investment services offered by Josh Arnold Investment Consultant, LLC, a security investment advisor. Past performance is no guarantee of future results. All investments involve risk. All comments and opinions are Josh Arnold's and do not constitute investment advice. Tom Barnard is a paid endorser.
Hello, I'm Brad Huckle, President and Chief Lending Officer at North American Banking Company.
And I'm Michael Bilski, CEO at North American Banking Company.
As a locally owned and operated community bank, we work with many multi-generational businesses.
Take Personal Care Dentistry of Roseville, for example. Dr. Walter Hunt, also known as Painless to me, has been a longtime customer of the bank since we opened the bank in 1998.
When his son Kyle was ready to join the practice, they wanted to expand quickly.
With their additional space and equipment, they now are able to see more patients each day while providing the same level of care and service.
Okay, guys, I'll take it from here. If you run a family business or any kind of business for that matter, you should be banking with Brad and Mike over at North American Banking Company. Every time I deal with them or their team, I know I'm working with experienced professional bankers. So why not bank with my banker? North American Banking Company, a better banking experience, member FDIC, equal housing lender. Ladies and gentlemen, news brought to you by Mr. Money Talk, Josh Arnold. Call Josh for your free 48-minute financial evaluation. We are with, I tell you, I got to be honest with you, I'm watching the news this morning, and I will say this, and I know I might mention it once in a while, but I tune into pretty much all of the news channels to listen to a couple of minutes before I watch, because I watch your entire newscast. I lasted about 15 seconds on both Fox and CNN this morning because they were just off on these tangents. Like, I don't want to hear this. How horrible the world is. Yes, I understand. And then, of course, I tuned to Channel 5 just in time to catch the news. And there's this stunningly handsome fella wearing this tan jacket. That's a good-looking jacket, brother. I like that jacket.
I thought Megan and I looked like a Southern preacher, like from that show that Kristyn was talking about.
Righteous Gemstones.
Yes.
There
like
you go.
I thought we looked like. In fact, during the commercial break, I went into this whole bit, and I'm like, Megan and I are so happy to have you with us today in the congregation, and the good Lord brought us here. Praise Jesus. Praise Jesus.
I thought you looked good.
I went on a bit for like 5 minutes during the commercial break on that, but thank you.
But it fit really well. It was well constructed. I thought it was a good look for a preacher.
It was a little out of my normal black coat,
right?
Black tie. Yeah, it was very summery, I guess.
How often do you have to buy new clothes for being on TV?
Well, guys don't have as much of an issue as women do, unfortunately, because viewers are very fickle when it comes to what the females seem to wear. That's kind of the way it seems to work. I honestly could wear in fact, some anchor guy did this somewhere a couple years ago. He wore the same jacket every day for like a year just to prove a point, and nobody knew the difference, right?
There you go.
So I could do it more often than I probably do, but yeah.
Well, I'm not so concerned about the way anchormen dress, but I will tell you this right now, Chris Egert. These unprofessional hacks who put their hands in their pockets. I cannot handle the anchors who are on TV with hands in pockets. Do you know how unprofessional and unkept you look when you put your hands in your pockets?
It's true. It is true.
You guys obviously did not see the post that Chris Egert put up yesterday. He got an email from a listener who was angry and told him to stop putting his hands in his pockets.
Oh, I was like, Rudy, is this true? I was so
it is
thrown
true.
on. No, but I meant like I thought Rudy felt this way, and I was like, you guys are being ridiculous
No, of course
right
not.
now.
No, the post was, I thought it was very funny because what a weird thing to critique somebody on. A newscaster putting his hands in his pockets.
It's a fair piece of criticism.
Is it though?
Really?
Stop.
So,
You're being...
So, Tom, what this person emailed, and I've gotten a couple emails about putting my hands in my pockets now. So I had a dude call my news director about 3 months ago and accuse me of playing pocket pool during the freaking newscast.
Oh my God.
Of course.
That's not professional. I'll say that.
It was very detailed, and I was like, "Oh my God."
He was
anyway.
that's a kink of his. He was obviously because that's weird. That's super weird to think about that.
He was asking the news director if Chris could play it more while he was on the air.
That's so weird. Oh, that email is so gross. Oh.
Tom, do you, now that you're doing this on camera, do you give that any
like
thought?
what? Give what a thought?
Well, they're like people are seeing you versus just hearing you, which had kind of normally been the way it was for you.
The only problem I have with being on camera this week is because for the 5th straight day, you and I are wearing the same color. Well, you're kind of more bluish.
He's more blue, yeah.
Yeah, you're more
Is that
bluish.
purple or is that blue?
It's purple,
yeah.
yeah.
Oh, it's purple. Yeah, it's a little more blue, but the lovely fluorescent light that's thrown down upon me here right now.
But it's close enough, is what I'm saying.
It's because we're we're separated at birth, Tom. You and I.
That's what it is. That's exactly what it is.
Do you have any shirts like the one Chris is wearing right now, Tom? Because I feel like this is the sign of a made man when your collar and your cuffs are a different color than the actual shirt.
The inside of the collar?
Yeah, because you have a white. You see what I mean? You have white on the outside, and then that is also white on the inside.
That's that Hammer Made, baby.
This is a sponsored right here. This sponsored shirt right here.
Yeah,
that's Hammer Made.
Yeah.
I can tell you that right now.
Because I like when I see Bob Kraft walk out into a press conference, and he's got the blue shirt with the white collar and the white cuffs. I'm like, God, that guy looks like he's so put together.
I do like that look, but I think it's kind of old school.
Yeah, that's why. But it works, you know.
Yeah. Have you ever had to wear a tie, Tom?
No.
How many? Do you own ties?
I got a bunch of ties, but I never, ever wear a tie. I haven't worn a sport coat in years.
Yeah. Didn't you have one on at that? You spoke at an event several months ago where you're giving an award to some young people, as I recall. Was it like in Anoka County? I can't quite remember. I thought you might have had a suit on or a sport coat on for that.
No? Oh, you mean you up in Anoka, that one?
Yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't wearing I was just wearing a regular outfit. I might have had a vest on though. Maybe that's what you saw. I might have had a vest on.
Nice.
That was a very nice event. They do a nice job with that whole deal.
It seemed like it was, yeah.
No question about it. It's very, very pleasant. But yeah, I think the last time I wore a tie was when I was at the National Radio Hall of Fame. That was 6 years ago now.
Well, that's a big deal. That's worth a tie.
Yeah, I guess. I walked in and went, hey, that's great, thanks, goodbye.
Well, because nobody wants to. I mean, God forbid you feel good about your career and accepting. You know what I mean? Like
exactly.
I get it. It's so Minnesota, and you're like,
Well, there's one guy who's a night guy at WLS. What the hell was his name? Oh, John Landecker. He went on, and it was like. And after that 5 paragraphs, let me move on to page 2, and then I'll read this for about an hour, and then I'll go on to page 3. It's like, Jesus Christ. You were horse shit on the air anyway. Shut up.
So then, Tom's out there with a big hook, pulling him off.
Exactly. God, the egos on some of those people. That I will tell you. I've never talked about that, but the egos on some of those people, oh, God.
That's why I've never once gone to the Emmy Awards.
Oh, God. Oh, yeah.
I've never gone because I know.
Not your deal.
I know people in my industry well enough that I would be so irritated sitting there. And I'm like, oh, no.
No, you're right. You're right. And I just, I don't know. It was wonderful. Don't get me wrong. It had great honor, obviously, and all the rest of it. But it's just, some people just can't handle it. Did you never win a ball game as a kid? I mean, is this the first thing you ever won?
No, because that's why they got into this.
Yeah, right. That's true.
You're probably right.
Yeah, they're like death gripping to that podium because they're like, this will be the last time anyone's forced to listen to me.
I needed the crowd to keep cheering after I got done in high school, and this is the only way I could get it to happen, right?
I guess. But no, I think you're leaning more blue with that shirt. I'm leaning more. One thing I did just notice since I lost all that weight on that MN fat loss deal, his shirt's a little too big for me.
It does look a little.
It's way too big.
But it's more comfortable that way. I hate wearing.
I love it. You're right.
You're supposed to wear them tight. I think it's so uncomfortable. No. Brittany, does your husband wear tight shirts?
Yeah.
And don't tell me too much detail. I don't.
In detail. I'll tell you as much detail as that email about playing pool. I'll tell you that. Oh, you just missed Hannah. She went
Did
by.
Hannah go by?
You just missed her. Hey!
Where are you going? Get back here, sister.
He's busy.
You're not busy.
Get yourself some snacks, girl.
I gotta get my snack. I just ate an omelet, so gotta get some more snacks.
I want you to do me a favor.
Gotta back up my stuff.
I need a big favor from you. Okay, here comes a big favor I need. I was watching you this morning talking about the traffic. Okay? Stop pointing to my house. You were pointing right at my house.
Yeah, Hannah.
Cut the comedy, sister.
Where do you live?
I'm not telling you a thing.
Okay, I'll look at where I'm pointing. I'll go back and watch their check and see every area where I'm pointing.
There's a jackass that lives right here. You see this area? Yeah, great.
I make an icon for that. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Put it up on the map.
Put a big lump of coal right there.
By the way, look at the color of Hannah's outfit. We got dark blue, we got blue, we got purple, we got all the pastels, baby.
We do look very well color coordinated today.
We really do. It's true. It's Purple Blue Friday. That's what it is. But
like
no,
that.
I thought your traffic report was good. Not a lot of traffic this morning. That was good.
Thank you. I'm gonna do that. I should do like put stars, like where the stars live.
Oh
like
yeah.
Of all of your guys' houses.
Oh,
Yeah, good.
Okay.
Finding a star in Minnesota is going to be.
Creepers there.
No, I think you could just go ahead and make Tom's. I'll send you his address. We get a very specific star.
I'll get his address.
I got you. I got you guys. Don't worry. Hannah, keep up the great work and give Brady a cuddle for us.
Brady.
I will. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Hannah.
Bye.
Have a good day.
As riveting detail, I'm going to tell you Justin's fit in he likes things a little tighter. He doesn't like he recently has accepted that he might be more of a large. He's like a medium or a large in guys' shirts, and he doesn't like oversized stuff at all.
Isn't everything oversized when you're a medium?
It kind of feels that way.
I mean, it kind of is. Isn't
Sometimes I'll think I'm gonna have like a really cute moment and put on like his sweatshirt. I'm like, I'm like a little girl in a sweatshirt, and I'm like, this fits too well.
There you have it.
Rudy, you wear pretty tight shirts. You got the guns out, got the tats showing. It's a good look for you.
I'm right in between, and it's tough because I'm a medium, and if it's too tight, then I go to a large, but then it's too big. I'm kind of
sloppy.
and it's just I would much rather have a shirt that is a little bit bigger, but there's really nothing in between for my size. It's either I look like I'm purposely wearing a shirt that's super tight, or I look like I don't know how to dress myself.
Yeah.
That's a quandary.
Yeah.
Here we are.
Well, you're not getting much of an argument from these two. That's real nice. Yes, you're
I
right.
get it.
No, it is. I'm the same way. I'm more comfortable in an extra large.
Yeah.
But I usually wear a large, and sometimes it man boobs and beer gut hanging out. And I'm like, oh,
The only
God.
one I really like that's when it's a little bit bigger is a hoodie. I like an oversized hoodie. Just one step up. It feels good and comfortable, yeah.
I agree with that.
I still can't wear hoodies. Everybody that wore a hoodie in my neighborhood was a robber or a thief.
So you just feel like that's not your
It's not my deal.
deal.
I don't know. I don't think I want anything covering my noggin other than a hat anyway. I don't know. Are they? I suppose they're comfortable.
Oh yeah, they're
I
the
would
best.
imagine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never done that. I have to give a hoodie a try.
And I like the zip-up hoodie. I don't like the pullover hoodie.
Controversial take.
Yeah, because because the zip-up hoodie, easy when you get hot, easy to take off.
So what is that?
So it just has the zipper that goes all the way up the
Oh,
front.
there. Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah,
But I like
okay.
the look of the. I don't like the zipper, the actual practicality
No,
of
no.
the zipper.
This is how I know you're not like me. I like to take a nap anytime I can. And having a zipper right there center mass does not work. Because
Why?
I lay on my stomach and I don't want a zipper pushing on my body.
Sure.
So I like to be enclosed that at any moment I can take a nap in, and that's just not going to vibe for me.
That's both valid points.
Thank you.
Tom, I'm going to get you a hooded sweatshirt with Hannah's picture on it.
With a zipper?
He'd wear that.
With a zipper, you can zip right through her
Zip right through her
God,
face.
no, let's not.
Yeah, Hannah, what do you think of this? Yeah. Just split her face right down the middle.
Let's not.
She's out of the room, isn't she? She's terrific. She really is terrific on
She's
top.
So
nice.
lovely.
Yep.
It's good to have her back.
Very nice. Well, you got a good crew there in the morning. You really do.
We do. We all like each other, which, legitimately care about each other, which is cool.
Well, I've always liked the people I work with, as you know, because over the years for 52
Listen,
years.
it's hard to fake it if it's not there. And
I'm pretty good at faking at times, It's my way.
You've got tells.
You've
got tells.
Well, yeah. I've worked with a couple of psychopaths that I just couldn't even pretend to like them. There's no question about
it's
that.
hard. It's hard to be in that. A couple of times Megan and I have gotten in a little tiff about something.
Oh, really?
It was stupid stuff too.
It always is.
Nothing to do with anything. And granted, we spend more time with each other than our own spouses, right? So
right.
And it was 2 or 3 days where we weren't really talking to each other. It was really hard. I did not like it at all. I was like, oh my God, I can't imagine being that close to somebody and working that closely with them and just not getting along with them. I don't know.
It's not
But
easy.
I'm a Midwesterner in that sense. Like I have a hard time. I don't know. Don't like when there's conflict or, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of people in town, especially in media, that will put up with a lot with each other.
Yeah.
Because we're pretty good at it. But I don't know. For me, when I get to a point with somebody, and I'm totally a pushover on most things. I'm easy to work with at times. But there are some times when it gets to a point, when I'm done, I'm done. I don't care how much I have. If I have 18 months left on my contract, it will be the most silent 18 months of your life. I will not talk to you. I will just get my stuff done. I will do the bare minimum to get through this, because when I was at KS95, like I knew that last year was going to be brutal, because I was so tired of it. A couple of people I worked with were great. A couple were difficult. Management was amazing. But I was like, I'm so done with 2 or 3 of you. And I never talked to them. The day I left, I never said goodbye. I never got a text. I was like, great. I'm glad that our twains are finally parting, because I can't do this anymore.
But isn't that pretty? That's the usual deal, though. Well, again, I was at my last job for 37 years, so I guess I haven't gone through that very much. But not one person in that building called to say goodbye to me. Not one.
No kidding.
And it's because of a bunch of kiss-ass sugar tits. That's why. It's not because they didn't like me. They were just too afraid that somebody might find out they were being nice to me.
Oh, I went to a going-away party of a coworker of ours.
Mm-hmm.
6 months. One person did not talk to me because I went to their going-away party.
There you go.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, they confronted me the day after. The going-away party was Saturday. When I got to work on Monday, this person pulled me aside and said, I heard you went to Shannon Hawley's going-away party. I was like, yeah. Why? Because she's my friend?
Yeah.
Because I worked with her for a year and a half? Why? What's the difference? Also, it's on my time. I'm not here on your clock.
Right.
Why do you give a shit?
Yeah.
And 6 months this person would not talk to me because I went to somebody's going away party.
Are you still friends with the person who wouldn't talk to you for 6 months?
Oh, no, I have not talked to this person at all.
Okay. All right, good.
Yeah.
Because that would be brutal to have a friend that is worried about things like that.
I would never have a friend that would do that.
No.
That's how I know that we're good apart. Yeah. Absolutely.
See, I just brought a lawn sign and put it up in front and said, you guys all suck. And then I just drove away.
Nailed it.
There's a lot of ass kissing in radio and television, and I suppose even in podcasting. People just suck up and it's just, ugh.
I think there's ass kissing everywhere.
Yeah, probably.
Of course.
Probably.
I do feel like when it comes to things like airtime and that it's a different dynamic for people and a different kind of ass kissing.
But they do love to kiss ass, man. They think it's, I can get ahead by it. I can't do it. Like I said, if I tried to kiss ass, my mouth would stop working. I can't do it.
It's hard. I agree.
I'm fine with it.
Whatever.
I'm good at it.
Actually, you're not even good at that.
I'm not
either.
even.
That's another thing you're not good at.
That's another thing you suck at. Okay. Let me write. I have a note somewhere that says.
Yep, I got a list.
Yeah.
Brittany's list.
I just had yesterday. The theme was Brittany, do better, just broadly across the board.
Mm-hmm.
So
good thing.
We're still working on that. Yeah, I think it's funny. It's like I always try to have enemies, people that I hate, because I know that like that fuels other people. So I'll be like, oh yeah, like this person wronged me, whatever. I can't hold on to grudges very long because once I get to know,
it's a waste of time.
Well, once I get to know any detail about them, like oh you're a dad and you miss your kid and oh whatever, I'd be like okay fine, I kind of like you. I can't hold on to him for very long, but my husband, Justin, he literally can hold on to a grudge for a lot. And it's like impressive. It's like the people don't even know what's going on. And like, he's just, he's like, I love my grudges. He would hold on. That's what keeps him motivated.
I don't know. Can't do it. It's a waste of time for me. I wouldn't waste my time on holding a grudge against somebody. Just get the hell away from me.
Yeah, but you have people in your life for sure you're done with.
Oh, there's no question about that. But
I feel like people could, at any point, still pull up to my house and be like, can I eat dinner? I'd say, yeah, come in.
By the way, if those people end up dead, I didn't do it.
I know. That's why you need an alibi. Every 10 minutes.
You need an alibi.
Every 10 minutes, you need to buy something, no matter what, just for the receipt and proof that you were there.
But don't you think you've worked with great people and some real raving assholes?
Yeah, but it's also everyone has their point of view. Like
I don't care about their point of view. Get the hell away from me. Get your own show.
But like their narrative is they're not the bad guy.
Oh, I know. Oh, they think they're not the bad guy.
Yeah.
I can name one in particular. What an asshole that man was the whole time I worked with him. He just thought he was something special. It's like, I literally finally had to walk up and go, I'm sorry, and I hope you don't start crying, but you're horrible. Stop running around here telling people this, that, and the other. What a terrible person you are. And he just looked at me like, oh.
Oh, cool.
Okay. Yeah, whatever. What are you doing for it? How are things going living in the fifth wheeler? So anyway, moving forward.
Well,
you know I do this because of Egert.
All
right, I'll talk to you later. Thanks. You know I do that because of you. You know I do that because it makes you cringe every time, Mr. Happy Pants, as it says on your picture today.
That was just for you guys. Happy Friday.
All right, thanks a lot.
Bye.
Bye. Chris Egert. Now, see, there's a guy I think the world of right there.
I hate him.
He's
my work enemy. I need one.
Don't you just, the one thing about radio that I hate the most is when you're trying to set something up and get something going, and then one of the people that you're working with or two of them get together and they go, let's go to management and see if we can. It's like, get away from me.
Yeah.
You know, we already went through this. Shut up to do your job.
Yeah.
All right? This is why you fail miserably at everything you try.
Everything I do.
Not you, them.
But I'm consistent.
Consistently swinging and missing. Is
Yep.
that what you're saying?
Consistently suck.
Ladies and gentlemen, news brought to you by Mr. Money Talk, Josh Arnold. Call Josh for your free 48-minute financial evaluation. Stream the Tom Barnard Show on the app or the website and listen for at least 1 hour a day and be entered to win a pair of tickets to Pink and Pat Benatar in concert at Target Field. That's on August 10th. My God, that's only 6 days away now. Jesus, August 10th already almost.
That's wild.
Listen to our show on the stream for an hour each day and win. Tickets are compliments of Killebrew Old-Fashioned Root Beer and Cream Soda. That's a hell of a deal, don't you think?
Mm-hmm.
We have to take a break here. We'll be right back in a couple minutes. More news follows right after this.
This is the Tom Barnard.
I'm here talking with my friends Michael Bilski and Brad Huckle of North American Banking Company. Guys, it seems like banking has changed quite a bit since you first opened your doors in 1998.
Yes and no. In 98, we didn't have online and mobile banking like we do today. Many banking processes have also changed. One thing that hasn't changed is we still provide a true community bank experience right here in the Twin Cities.
Our team takes the time to get to know our customers and their goals. This creates a relationship that is unique in banking today and one our customers appreciate. It's why we like to say we provide a better banking experience.
You're absolutely right, Brad. I've been a customer for a long time. The service your team provides is phenomenal.
Thanks, Tommy.
So why not bank with my banker, North American Banking Company, a better banking experience, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Hi, I'm Mike Bryant, and I'm driving my car safely and legally communicating on my phone. Minnesota law allows a driver to use their cell phone to make calls, text, listen to music or podcasts, and get directions by voice command or single-touch activation without holding your phone. Violations are very expensive.
The National Safety Council reports that cell phone use while driving leads to 1.6 million crashes per year, and nearly 400,000 injuries are caused by texting and driving. Not surprising, since 4 seconds with your eyes off the road is like driving the length of a football field blindfolded. And research shows that just 2 seconds increases the risk of an accident up to 24 times. Texting may only take a second, but it can end your life or ruin it forever. Please, drive safely and stay alive.
Find Bradshaw and Bryant, personal injury attorneys at minnesotapersonalinjury.com.
Bradshaw and Bryant.
On MyPillow's 20-year anniversary with over 80 million pillows sold, Mike Lindell and the MyPillow employees want to thank each and every one of you by giving you the lowest price in history on their MyPillows. Queen-size MyPillow's regular price is $69.98, now only $19.98, and just $10 more for king size. MyPillow's patented fill adjusts your exact individual needs to help you get the best sleep ever. Go to MyPillow.com, click on the radio podcast square to get Mike's amazing offer on the queen-size MyPillow for only $19.98. Enter promo code TOM. In addition to this special anniversary offer on the MyPillows, you will also receive deep discounts on all MyPillow products such as bed sheets, mattress toppers, pet beds, mattresses, My Slippers, and so much more. Take advantage of the biggest sale in MyPillow's history. Go to MyPillow.com, use promo code TOM to take advantage of Mike's special offer on his MyPillow. That's MyPillow.com, promo code TOM. We are back, ladies and gentlemen. May as well check the weather here. see what the situation is. Partly to mostly sunny, very warm, but not as humid, with a high today of 88 degrees. Tonight, partly cloudy, warm, a low of 69. Then Saturday, cooler with partial sun. A few showers, thunderstorms possible, maybe not, though, especially in the afternoon. High of 80. Then Sunday, mainly cloudy, cooler, same situation, maybe a scattered shower. Tapering late with a high of 78. As a matter of fact, it is 73 and mostly sunny right now. Very, very pleasant day today, it looks like, because there's not a lot of humidity.
Yeah.
The humidity dropped way off. I would like to thank everybody for bringing the subject up because now I'm in a situation where I'm oh, here comes trouble. I'm standing in the men's room at the urinal, and all these things start flowing through my brain because we brought up that subject. Who brought up that subject?
Which one?
The one about talking about coworkers and all that.
Chris Egert. Yeah,
Chris Egert because he's not here.
Oh, so we'll blame it on him because he's not here.
Yeah.
I was standing there, and it just popped into my head, and I got as angry as I did 40 years ago or 30 years ago, whatever it was. When I first went to work at the Q, it was owned by, well, the McKennas owned it at first, but only for a couple of weeks. And then Disney was, segueing in and all the rest of it. And I will never forget. I won't say the guy's name because he turned out to be a decent guy, but he had to make a point. And he's talking to me about something. He goes, Tom, I know we haven't worked together before, but I just just want to mention a couple of things to you. That as your superior, and I said, what? He said, as your superior, I said, don't you ever say that to me again. Your superior, really? Is that what you're... There's no superior.
No, but why is this still bugging you?
Because I hate that when guys try to act like a tough guy. I bet you hear that kind of crap all the time, don't you?
Oh, yeah.
Because as big as you are.
I pay your salary or blah, 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 blah.
People say, the public.
Oh, yeah. The guys I work with, the guys that are sergeants and chiefs, are phenomenal.
That's good. Glad to hear it.
But I get it from the public.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, absolutely. Nonstop. Well, because they can lip off to a guy as big as you are, and there's nothing you can do about it.
Well, especially when you're wearing that shield, that we are civil servants, so we owe them something.
That's very, very true. No question about it. Yeah, I don't know. I've never been able to tolerate that kind of thing. Just as your, even boss. I don't like the word boss either. We got to come up with a new word. Let's invent a new word.
You have to demand respect.
There you go.
Probably didn't earn it. And so it's like one of those things where I feel like you're telling me more about your insight when you say those things to me. It doesn't bug me. People say things like that to me or whatever. If they were to say, as your boss or whatever, it wouldn't bug me. Like, it wouldn't hurt my feelings, but I'd be like, ooh, you don't feel the power.
Coming from your military background, you have an easier time accepting that. And, mine was a much smaller scale with the academy and whatnot. But everyone is sir, everyone is ma'am, doesn't matter how old they are.
Yeah. I don't mind that.
There's that automatic respect given from me immediately.
I will automatically give everybody respect, and then you can show me that you don't. I don't even think, because I would never not give somebody respect, but you can show me that you probably don't deserve it.
Exactly.
Really quickly. But I feel like I kind of live now in the mind frame of I don't want the things that Amy and Dan and our bosses do, my bosses do. I don't want that responsibility. I'm very thankful that they are our bosses, and they are amazing at their jobs, and I see just some of the work they do, and I go, oh, that would be I'm at a point where I go, I want to just do my job well. I don't want to pretend like I want to do somebody else's job.
That's a long way to go.
I know. I knew you were going to say that.
That's a long haul right there. I mean,
Well, when I first started my career, I thought, well, be a sergeant and then a chief. That'd be awesome.
No. Once you start realizing,
I will be boots on the ground all the time.
And it's just a lot. You don't go, I don't want to pretend that I want that job or that I would do it better. That sounds terrible.
Some people get crabby now too because you were talking about being in the military and all the rest of it. But I've had people, do not call me sir, don't call me ma'am.
I've had that a lot.
But I grew up calling people sir and ma'am, and my mom wanted me to be polite. And I mean it as respect, not why do they not like being called sir and ma'am now? I
got pulled over on 4th of July weekend, and I got a speeding ticket, whatever. It happens. But it was funny. The kid was, I bet on my part, I'm embarrassed. But, like, he was maybe 20-something. I mean, he was so young. He looked like a baby face, and I still call everybody sir. And you could tell he was super thrown off by that. I'm like, not a problem, sir. I got you. Da, da, da. I knew.
But
I mean,
why?
It was just funny because you could just tell I was so much older than him that it felt really like, you know what? It was hilarious because I always call police officers sir, especially because I get really anxious about getting pulled over. So I really tap into military. Like, yes, sir, gotcha, sir. I hear this, sir, you know. And you could just tell the power dynamic. He obviously was, you know, in control, but it was very odd. He's not used to it.
Yeah. I had a deal down in the front of this building about a year ago. When I'm walking up and there's a guy behind me, and I always do this, man, woman, whatever. When I open the door, I hold it open so they can go through first. And I'm holding the door, and the guy goes, "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm holding the door for you, sir." And he's like, "Don't ever hold the door for me, and don't ever call me sir." Like, first of all, once you kiss my ass.
Yeah, that guy's going through something.
Yeah, you're going through something.
He's got an issue.
Yeah,
That's on him.
Somebody in his life probably maybe have died recently, or there was some.
Good for him.
I'm just saying, you have to go, has nothing to do with you, Tom, and let it go.
But it just, why didn't he just let it go?
Why did he pull the attitude?
Yeah. I was trying to do a favor for the guy, and I'm an asshole because I did a favor for him.
That's just general politeness.
Yeah, but we've all been there where something happens big in our life, and we can't get out of our own heads with it. We've all been there. It's all relatable.
I would never push it off on somebody else.
Okay.
No, other than you ruining my career.
Yeah,
that I'm very pissed off about.
If you can't, please check out our YouTube video to watch Brittany roll her eyes.
Yeah, there you go. Exactly. She's rolling her eyes over there. No, I don't know. It's a different world. I don't know why you wouldn't want to be called sir or ma'am. What is the problem with that?
Well, they just had a big deal with it. It was about 6 months ago. We talked about this on the show where they were saying stop calling people sir and ma'am because they don't want to be gender identified.
Oh, Jesus. How about hey, asshole? Can I do that? Just go with that. So gender identified. I don't care what gender you are. I couldn't care less.
I think the big one when that article, too, was the ma'am versus the miss. That was the big controversy.
What's the problem with that?
Well, you realize that you hit a certain age and all of a sudden people start calling you ma'am.
We'll call you madame from now on. Madame, how are you today?
People are freaked when I've called them ma'am. I'm not old enough to be a ma'am.
It's like, what?
It's like when you look down and you see your hands and you're going, whose hands are these? Oh, they're so wrinkly.
Gnarled things that I got, yeah.
Yeah. I made that mistake when I was dating a woman. She showed me this picture and what looked like an old man sitting at a piano because it was just piano keys and a set of hands. And I was like, wow, like you can almost hear the song that old man is playing. And she goes, yeah, those are my hands.
Oh, God. Uh-oh.
Check, please. That's so
There wasn't a second date on that one, was there, Rudy?
No, it wasn't.
I'm guessing. Might not have been. No, I just don't understand why you would be sir, ma'am, hey, buddy. Hey, let me get the door for you, buddy. Well, I'm not his buddy, but that's nice of you.
Yeah.
I don't have any problem with that stuff. Buddy, pal, whatever.
That's, I use pal and buddy and boss. But I use boss in the funnier way, not you're my boss. But,
no, exactly.
What's up, boss? That kind of stuff.
Why get upset over that kind of stuff? I will never understand.
Everybody needs to be upset over every little thing now. So
I guess so. I was telling the guys this morning that before I got here, I was going through all the news stuff, and then I continued to hear there's not a lot of positive in the news today. I don't know what the hell happened, but my God, there's a lot of people pissed off about everything. I guess that's just the way it is. 10 huge coincidences. Did you look at this already, Brittany?
I have not.
Because I have not either. Well, you posted it, didn't you?
Yeah, I kind of glanced over them, and there was I think I said the first one, and I went, all right, these are all right.
Oh, good, because I have not seen this at all. 10 unbelievable coincidences that will leave you scratching your head. Now, you guys will be the judge of this. Life has a funny way of throwing curveballs at us, especially when it comes to coincidences. Just when you think you've got a handle on reality, along comes a series of events that leave you scratching your head. The universe definitely has a sense of humor. Like just now, the page scrolled up by itself.
Ooh.
See, there you go. This list explores 10 extraordinary coincidences that will leave you questioning the very fabric of reality. Get ready to have your skepticism challenged. Well, we'll find out if that's true or not. Number 10, Mark Twain and the Comet. Mark Twain had a fascination with Halley's Comet throughout his entire life. He was born on the night of November 30th, 1835, when the comet was visible in the sky over his hometown of Florida. Oh, Florida, Missouri. I didn't know there was a town named Florida, Missouri.
I didn't either. That could get real confusing.
I thought he was born in
quick.
Hannibal, Missouri.
Maybe that's where he lived after he
maybe
grew up.
I always thought he was born in Hannibal, though. But it says Florida, Missouri. Twain believed that he was destined to die when the comet returned. He famously said, I came in with Halley's Comet in 1835. It's coming again next year, 1910, and I expect to go out with it. Twain died of a heart attack on April 21st, 1910.
Wow.
Jesus.
Wild.
That's amazing, isn't it?
Okay, so side note,
Yes.
Florida, Missouri really wants you to know that Mark Twain was born there.
Oh, okay.
So I looked it up on the map. I was like, where is this? Not only is it in Mark Twain State Park, it's right next to Mark Twain Lake. They are really
Well, there you
banking
go.
on you checking out Mark Twain. I bet you there's a Mark Twain Street somewhere.
Did you ever know that, though, that he was born with the comet and died with the comet?
That's so crazy.
No idea that happened.
Yeah. I wonder if people in Florida name all their sons Mark. You know,
Oh, yeah,
like in the
yeah.
state of Wisconsin,
Yep.
this is no joke. In the state of Wisconsin, during the years that Brett Favre was there, almost like 27% of all the boys born in Wisconsin were named Brett.
I don't doubt it.
That's insane.
Well, that's the only thing Wisconsin had to hang their hat on for a long time.
Like-
Besides that and cheese and beer, right?
Like, Brett is not exactly.
Well, yeah, you can't really go, this is my son, Dahmer.
Yeah, Dahmer's not good. Well, it's Wisconsin, though.
Yeah, it feels
You can't-
weird. Yeah.
You can, though.
Yeah, you could, but just feel a little weird, yeah.
I'm sure that happened. Name your kid Dahmer.
Or maybe just Jeffrey.
Some knucklehead out there did, I'm sure.
I was very happy to name my son Andy after my best friend of all time, Andy Fisher.
That's sweet.
It was very, very sweet. Unfortunately, we lost Andy Fisher this year, and it still pisses me off. I love that guy. Number 9, Independence Day deaths. God, is this going to be all about death? I don't know if I want to talk about death from,
Yeah.
John Adams and Thomas Jefferson were political adversaries when it became, they became friends later in life, though. I did know that. They both died on July 4th, 1826. Yep, that's very well known, which was the 50th anniversary of the Declaration of Independence. These stories go on and on and on, so I'm just going to read probably one or two lines. Breaking the Lincoln Curse. Was Abraham Lincoln cursed? He himself witnessed 3 assassinations during his presidency. I didn't know that.
I didn't know that.
I had no idea that was true. The first was the assassination of Elmer Ellsworth, a Union Army colonel who was shot by a hotel owner in Alexandria, Virginia in May 1861. The second was the assassination of Union Army General James B. McPherson, who was shot during the Battle of Atlanta in July 1864. The third was most famous, was Lincoln's own assassination at Ford's Theater. Well, that's Robert Todd Lincoln, though. He got assassinated too? Jesus. No, Abraham Lincoln. No, I don't know.
Yeah. I suppose you do witness your own.
I was like,
association.
that's what I was sitting here going. Can we call that a witnessing of your?
Unless he wasn't John Wilkes Booth standing behind him?
Yeah, I don't think he saw that coming. That's the whole point.
But wait a second. So this Robert Todd Lincoln was that was his kid, wasn't it?
I thought so.
Yeah, Robert Todd Lincoln was his son.
Wait, at the same friggin' at the Ford's Theater? Is that what you said just now?
I think they mixed the two together.
Maybe that sounds.
Yeah,
that would
that's
be,
not right.
Why would you ever go back to the theater that your son was assassinated at?
Exactly.
My God, my daughter ended up crapping the floor at a Target. I haven't been back to that Target
Never.
now in like 8 years.
These are a bit long, so I'll just do a few of them at a time. There are 10 of them, but I find this stuff fascinating, things that have happened, and they actually did happen, although I don't know how that was written, that Robert Todd Lincoln died before his father did, but I don't think so. I don't know. Maybe they opened fire on him. Well, I don't know. What the hell? What do I know, right? That whole assassination thing, and that was still about the Civil War, wasn't it? They were still battling over the Civil War. That's why he shot Abraham Lincoln, because he, I don't know, He settled a dispute, and we don't need any of that bullshit.
Yeah, exactly.
Have you guys seen the theater in the last few years?
Yeah.
Yeah. If you go to Washington D.C., it's just in like a very, I guess it's not really marked off. It's just there's the theater, and right across the street is like a Subway. Like you can just get a sub. It's not. You would think that there would be some fanfare, or like there'd be a guy with a velvet rope, or somebody standing outside who looks like Lincoln who could tell you about it. No, you just walk by and it's like Ford's Theater. All right, well, this is it, I guess.
Wow.
Just keep walking.
Yeah, they do have that area roped off. Obviously, I don't think anybody can go up.
No, you can't like just go in and check it out. But it just, I thought there would be more to it, and there's just nothing. It's just kind of like in the middle of a commercial area.
I mean, that's one of the problems they have in Washington, D.C. There are about 8 billion things to see in that town.
Yeah.
I love D.C.
It's a great town.
It's so fun, and you can just go from museum to museum, and they're free. Why? That's amazing.
I've never been more exhausted than the day I spent in Washington, D.C.
Running around a little bit.
Well, it was literally, I was on guard the entire day. It was the 3rd of July. It was, or 4th of July, one of those two. And I was literally making sure I memorized everybody's face. It was just, I couldn't turn the cop in me off.
Really?
And
what were you suspicious of?
Just everything. You know, we walked past the White House, and here's some guy reaching in another guy's backpack. I'm like, what the hell's going on there? And then, you know, there'd be people just shoulder to shoulder, and it's like, what are you going to stick me with a knife? What are you going to do?
Man, Officer Buzzkill in there.
Right?
Trying to enjoy
I'm
ourselves.
like, I saw dinosaur bones and giant gems.
Yeah.
And we got to go on scooters to the Capitol. Like,
there you go.
We had different trips.
Yeah. The
I'm
place
sorry
for Kitty Hawk. That's what I want to hear about. Yeah.
Yeah, we got back to the hotel and was like, I'm going to bed.
I bet you're exhausted.
Oh,
That's when you have that nervous, like, constantly looking around.
On guard all day like that. That was just brutal.
Love that town, though, D.C. You guys ever go to the Holocaust Museum?
No.
You got to go someday, but I'm telling you, if the little kid shoe thing in the caboose of that train they have in there.
Stop.
There's a huge pile of little kid shoes, and they're all from the Holocaust. It's just, my God, because of the smell of the shoes, because the leather's getting old and all that. But just to think of all those little kids that got massacred for no damn reason.
Have you guys seen the Vietnam Memorial in D.C.?
Yes, absolutely.
Yes.
I had never seen it, but my mom said when you walk up to it, notice how quiet the city gets.
Yeah.
Because as you kind of walk around, you'll hear the highways, you'll hear people, there's bustling, you might hear a guy with a street vendor. But she was right. The second you step in front of that memorial, it's like the world just sort of shuts down and gets quiet. And then when you step back, you kind of get back into reality.
That is true.
I love the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier, though, when somebody will try to like slip a rope or something or talk, and that guy will step off the line and he'll bark at him.
Good.
I love that.
Should bark at him. What the hell are you thinking, man? No, I tell you, one of the tough parts for me in that, the Vietnam Memorial is the fact that I know 4 of the guys that are on that thing.
That's hard.
4 friends of mine went to Vietnam and never came back.
Yeah.
I've got friends on the law enforcement memorial there too.
Oh yeah. That part is very, very difficult. Because I thought it would take me forever, but you can find those names pretty quickly. They do a good job of that whole situation. Yeah, it's a hell of a memorial. There's no question about that. But what are you going to do? The one I always remember is, and I won't say his name, but he was a United States Marine that took one right in the forehead, and they couldn't repair it enough for his funeral. So they put his cover on. They don't call it a hat in the Marine Corps. But you could still see that it was, Jesus. Not good. Anyway, moving on to more happy things, ladies and gentlemen. How the twins doing?
It's Friday, for God's sakes.
I know, but you got to honor the people.
I know.
We're just telling people you should go. If you've never been, definitely go to Washington, D.C. And if you can, go to 8th and I to the Marine Corps, United States Marine Corps drill team. That is one of the most impressive things. You guys do that?
So cool.
No.
God, it was phenomenal. So
That
you
is-
saw it?
I've seen it just on YouTube and whatnot. But
Oh, you didn't see it live?
No.
It's even more impressive live. They don't make any mistakes.
Yeah,
they're whipping stuff around.
That's so
we
cool.
we do that.
Amazing.
We do something like that for Lima, but nothing
Oh,
to
you do?
that
Yeah.
extent. So yeah, it's It's kind of, we do it with we call it the 15-count manual of arms.
Yeah.
And so it has nothing to that extent.
DC is one of those things where people tell you to go, and you don't really, you go, whatever. Like, I'm not going to plan
you gotta.
And then I had a trip. We finally, Justin was like, you have to go to DC. I'm working that weekend, and you're going to come. And we planned it like 4 months ahead of time.
Oh, okay.
And then that was the same weekend that you got inducted in the Hall of Fame.
Oh, yeah.
And it was one of those terrible things where I was like, I really want to go to DC, but so I didn't go to your Hall of Fame inductee. But I'll tell you what, that DC thing, that was awesome.
The one in Chicago you didn't go to?
No, because I didn't go to, the one here in Minnesota.
Oh, for the Minnesota Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Okay. Because the other one, I bring that up because Bilski bought everybody dinner.
Isn't that sweet?
And that dinner, I don't know how much it cost, but it was definitely 4 figures. There's no doubt about that. It's like, whoa.
That's so special, though.
Bilski.
What a good friend you have.
No, he's not a good friend. We're supposed to play golf today, and he canceled.
What a
pain in the ass,
shit
Bilski.
friend you have.
Terrible. The worst human being I've ever met.
Damn Polacks.
Yeah. God, I love that when he hears that kind of stuff. No, definitely go, and I'll get off the subject, but I was so impressed. And by the way, if you're going to eat in Georgetown.
Oh, nice.
The restaurants in Georgetown are phenomenal. God, they're good.
Yeah, and wear good shoes.
Yes, you got to wear good shoes because you can do a lot of walking.
Yep.
No doubt about that. We should probably take a break. Do I have to talk to Phil and Kent this morning? Are you forcing me?
Yeah, we really know that it's painful to talk to Phil Mackey.
There's
the worst thing
Kent
in the
Hrbek.
world. Oh, yeah, Kent too. Well, that's a given.
Of all time. There's no question. We shall take a break. Be right back. As a matter of fact, Phil Mackey, SKOR North's Phil Mackey, and Kent Hrbek coming right back. We're talking little twins right after this.
This is the Tom Barnard Morning Show. Listen live on the Tom Barnard Show app or at tombernardshow.com.
There's a guy named Tom Cross who likes to do kite things. Tom takes the phrase, go fly a kite, to an extreme, and for years goes all over the country in search of great kite flying events. Lincoln City, Oregon comes to mind with Chinook winds and 7 miles of pristine beach that draws folks from all over North America for the best kite flying conditions in the world. Tom brings a little Minnesota with him when he goes to Lincoln City in his new 2109S Rockwood Mini Light travel trailer. The new lightweights from Rockwood are very popular. Tom hauls his trailer from Niemeyer Trailer Sales in Albertville and Elko New Market, Minnesota. Niemeyer Trailer Sales is the only place Tom would prepare his next kite flight. Solar panels, exterior griddle, air conditioning are just a few of the standard features in his Rockwood by Forest River, from the place that is your ultimate RV headquarters since 1965. This is Tom Barnard. Visit my friends at Niemeyer Trailer Sales and take your passion on the road. Niemeyer Trailer Sales. Go to NIEMEYERS.com. Niemeyer Trailer Sales. There's plenty of thoughts that come into your head when you think the name Killebrew. Of course, there's the Minnesota baseball legend, Harmon, who was responsible for many a favorite memory at the old Met Stadium in Bloomington, and many a baseball that ended up in the stands and in the gloves of adoring fans from his home runs. There's Killebrew Drive, the legendary road that connects Highway 77 to the Mall of America, and a day of shopping you'll never forget. My current thoughts for the name Killebrew is fun floats in our kitchen with my kids and grandkids, a cool, refreshing break in between innings at Target or CHS Field. Or maybe a perfect sunset paired with a sweet, frothy beverage after fishing or on your favorite walleye lake. Killebrew root beer and cream soda. Grab a 6-pack at a grocery or convenience store near you. I'm Tom Barnard. This spring and summer, enjoy the one Killebrew root beer and cream soda. Gluten and caffeine-free with a generous portion of delicious thrown in. Killebrew, where memories are created and legends are made. We've been hearing about the new technology offered at Twin Cities Premier Health for the treatment of ED. This is one of those topics that can get uncomfortable to talk about, but the truth is, if new technology can improve your life by treating the root cause of most erectile dysfunction, why wouldn't we want to talk about it? Look, I've been going there I think I'm on my 6th treatment this week. Things go very well. It takes about 10, 15 minutes, not a big deal at all. It's a non-invasive, non-surgical, highly effective science-based procedure that creates an increase in blood flow and helps create new blood vessels by treating the root cause of most erectile dysfunction. If, like so many of my listeners, you aren't interested in continuing to take a pill to create a pharmaceutically induced erection and wipe all the spontaneity out, Reach to the Twin Cities Premier Health like I did, and right now receive this special offer. A free treatment and a free consultation when you book today. This is valued at $800, 952-395-4346. That's my unique phone number, 952-395-4346 for their office, or go to TwinCitiesPremierHealth.com. Be sure to tell them Tom Barnard sent you. Ladies and gentlemen, we got a little echo there.
I'm on it.
Are you echoing?
No, Dave was. I got him.
Oh, Dave was echoing?
Sorry. You're fine.
Well, you didn't do it.
God, Dave, what are you doing,
Yeah,
Dave?
Dave.
Sorry, guy.
Yeah,
I'm such a radio genius. You know?
Dave, go to your room.
I love how guys about 20 miles away bitch at you. It's a good move. Ladies and gentlemen, Minnesota legend Phil Mackey, sports brought to you. Oh, I'm sorry, it says Kent Hrbek. I thought it said Phil.
Someday.
Someday, baby. Minnesota legend Kent Hrbek Sports brought to you exclusively by Killebrew Old Fashioned Root Beer and Cream Soda at the ballpark up north or in your fridge. Killebrew Root Beer and Cream Soda. Morning, gentlemen. We had a win last night.
There we go.
Very unusual these days. Well, St. Louis is not very...
Hey, wait a minute. What's very unusual these days?
Oh, my God.
I mean, they are above 500, you negative Nancy Tom.
Boy, I thought when you started that sentence that you were going to call me something else. I'm like, whoa.
Yeah, it got weird. Phil, we all got really quiet for a second.
Sorry.
Yeah, it was
Holy
a little too
buckets.
long.
And he got a negative Nelly dropped on him.
Negative Nelly. That's exactly right. No, I tell you, you know what's so funny about that, Kent, and I suppose you go through this most definitely, but every time I see the Twins play St. Louis, it goes all the way back to 87, Pally.
Yep, kind of brings back some memories, that's for sure. Same thing when we played Atlanta earlier this year.
Yep.
You get the same type of feeling. Hey, boys and girls, I'm out at Rush Creek Golf Course today. The Twins have a community fun event going on out here for, it's Joe Mauer weekend here.
Sure.
Getting inducted into the Twins Hall of Fame. So there is a ton of former players out here beating the golf ball around today. So,
well, I guess I didn't get invited this year. I don't know.
Well, I got invited.
Al Newman's going to be there.
Yep, Newman's out here. So
Al Newman.
Danny Gladden.
Oh, all my friends.
Timmy Laudner just went by.
Oh, Timmy. I love Timmy.
Brian Dozier. Brian Dozier's out here.
Dang.
Wow.
Yeah, so I just talked to Matt Carrera as well, Jesse
Hey,
Crane.
can you ask, is Brian Dozier still a little buzzed from the Nationals World Series celebration 4 years ago?
He looked a little pie-eyed this morning. Yes.
Oh, well. Now we're talking. Now,
there's a little bit of baseball being talked out here on the golf course today, so it's going to be a fun weekend with what's going on. But, you're talking about being a negative Nelly. I'm sure after last weekend, their wonderful showing that the Twins had in Kansas City.
Yeah.
And what did we just talk about, I think, last Friday was how this team, you get excited about them for a little bit, and then the next day it's and they on the weekend, that's for sure.
I love that. Little fart noise from Ken Hrbek, ladies and gentlemen. Now we're talking.
Well, that wasn't a noise. That was
okay, well.
Glad you're 20 miles away, Kent.
Well, let's archive this for the Marconi Museum. This right here. It's great.
No, I tell you what, though, Rush Creek is one of my favorite places to play golf. I was living in that area when they built it and played there a lot. Just a really, really fun. Are you going to play today, Kent?
No, I'm not playing.
Come on.
I was up north this last week we had the ALS tournament up.
Right.
Tomasoni, the representative from Senator Tomasoni, who got that ALS bill passed through the legislature last year for $25 million. He passed away from ALS, and now they have a golf tournament for him up there. So we were up there with that. I was up there playing with Darby Hendrickson and Jimmy Johnson. Gardy was up, Terry Steinbach. We had a great couple days up there, and my back is a little on the DL today, the injured list.
Carrying the team or what?
No, I wasn't carrying the team. It's just because I'm old and fat and my back hurts.
Yeah.
So
Welcome to the club, Kent. Welcome to the club.
Kent, if you don't mind me asking, what course were you on up there?
We played Fortune Bay.
Oh, Fortune Bay. Okay, good.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep, right at Vermilion.
I know the family a little bit. I know his son Dante, and man, that was such a tough loss. It's not only for this family, but for the state of Minnesota.
Oh, yeah, Dante played right behind us.
Oh, he did?
Dante's a great. Dante and Danny, they're great guys, great family. They're actually putting the event on. They started helping out with ALS now, and they decided to have to start that tournament. But great family, great people from up north, from Chisholm there, and great people. We really had a great time. We actually played the day before too. A bunch of us guys played the day before with Dante and Danny at Giants Ridge as well. So
nice.
We had a good little golf weekend. I fished a couple days up there on Vermilion, caught some walleye. So it was a halfway decent week here so far. So now I get to talk baseball with the boys and a bunch of the old farts that come back in for the Hall of Fame weekend. So.
It's a good thing. I gotta warn you ahead, Kent, just in case you see me. I'm gonna come out there after the show, drive out to Rush Creek. I'm gonna walk out on the golf course. I'm gonna stand there until Laudner tees off on the hole I'm on. I'm gonna holler, "Laudner, you suck," and then I'm gonna drive away. What do you think?
I already told him that this morning.
I miss Lauds. I haven't seen Laudner in about a year. We got to get out and play golf again sometime.
Timmy likes this game called golf, that's for sure.
That boy can play golf, too.
He can play the game, yep.
He's really good. Hits it a little bit.
I bet he does.
Yes, just a little.
Just a little. So, Phil, you going to go out and play in the tournament?
You know, I'm not going to play in the tournament today. My invite got lost in the mail as
Mine
well,
too.
unfortunately.
Mine too, yeah.
You know, it's funny. I actually had a dream that Joe Mauer and I were like just getting lunch and reminiscing last night. I woke up and I was like, I miss Joe Mauer. He's a really nice fella.
That's a nice. I never had a dream like that about you.
I know. Usually it's like nightmares and clowns with fangs and like, it's like, no, Joe Mauer and I just had like a really nice interaction in my dream last night. It was great. Quite pleasant.
Wow. That's a little too much info. That's a little TMI.
Yeah.
TMI, baby.
No, it was just lunch. It was just lunch. Yeah. Speaking of the 87 team, by the way, this week is I skipped a decade there. The 36th anniversary of the Joe Niekro sandpaper / nail file situation.
No kidding.
Yes.
Today is?
Not today. I think it was like Thursday. It was It was like August. Maybe it was like August 2nd or August 1st. And
okay.
Tim Cheetah ringing up a strike on a pitch that looked like it stopped in midair for a second. He's like, I've never seen a ball move like that. I'll call it a strike, but let's investigate.
Oh, well, it was his knuckleball. The guy threw a knuckleball. It's supposed to move.
Do you guys remember what he did about a week or two after that happened?
Letterman?
He went on Letterman. I know that.
With a belt sander hanging from him. It was very funny. God,
Joey was a great guy, man. He was a super nice gentleman, a fishing fool. Him and his brother Phil like to fish all the time.
Sure.
They come into town, and we actually talk about having a day in the boat one time. Both him and Joe and Phil. I got to sit in the boat on Lake Minnetonka and fish a half a day with those guys and talk about getting some knowledge from two great people about the game of baseball. It was pretty cool.
I tell you,
those two guys chat.
That stuff is wonderful. Are they ever going to open up the convention grill again, for Christ's sake? Because I used to go in there, and every time I went in there, Gladden was in there hanging out with somebody talking baseball. I miss that.
I don't know. I have no clue.
You got to open that bad boy up again. I love the convention grill. Let's go. All right?
But the boys are all playing golf. I just saw Jack Morris go by. Jack's even here today. So Big Jack is out.
Wow, that's good.
Shut out. So, yeah, they teed off at 7:30 this morning. Can you believe it?
Ugh.
I don't even pee by 7:30.
Okay.
There's that TMI again.
Yeah.
Too much information from Kent Hrbek, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, by the way, my neighborhood people keep asking me to nail down that we're talking about getting everybody out to the house one of these Fridays. And Kent, I'll probably have to talk to you about it and get the whole thing teed up, because I've been promising my neighbors I do it for about 2 months now. But everybody's busy, man. Everybody's running around like lunatics.
Well, you have to make a phone call and find out if I'm around. But I'm busy on Friday mornings, though. You know that.
Doing what?
I have to do this radio show in the morning.
Yeah.
I don't know when. Well, I don't know what time is that.
Yeah, I know. It's way too early for me. I know that.
Well,
what do you usually talk about on the radio show, Kent?
Not much.
Fart noises.
Dreaming about Joe Mauer and stuff. You know?
Farts.
Yeah.
Peeing by 7:30.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so we got
It's a
that
sports show.
We got that segue part of the world going on, at least my world as a kid, where the Minnesota Twins are in the last couple of months of the season, and the Minnesota Vikings have their first game just, what was it, a week from...
It's coming up.
Yeah, it's Thursday night is the first.
It is Thursday night,
preseason game. Yeah, they've reduced down to 3 preseason games, and none of the starters really play. So
yeah,
mostly you're going to see a bunch of backups on Thursday night.
So will you watch the game?
Oh yeah, I think.
Yeah.
Well, we may actually do. This is sadistic, but we may actually do a post-game show on YouTube recapping the game because there's that much interest still in the backup cornerback battles and things like that.
Well, you have to practice too, right? It's spring training.
Oh yeah, you practice microphone mechanics, and you don't want to sprain an ankle watching practice too. That could be dangerous.
Sure,
you have to get in the swing of things yourself. I get it.
Yeah. You can pull a muscle very easily watching football. Okay.
That's right. Yep. Well, that's nice. So they started up next Thursday, and hopefully the boys in red, white, and blue here can keep things going. But we get excited. They win a couple games in St. Louis.
Yeah.
And hopefully we can get on to. Geez, they're going to be playing better again. But who knows what's going to happen next week, right?
Yeah, Phil, how many games have they won this year, the Twins?
They've won 56 games so far this year.
56, so they really don't.
You make it sound like they've won 4, by the way, every time we're on the top.
That's Judd and me both do that. We both do that.
Just bitching. It's funny. So the other day, because Judd is just sort of done with this team, and they're underachieving or whatever, and so the other day I said, Judd, listen, I know you're disappointed, but the trade deadline has passed. They're in first place. Cleveland sold off. They're probably gonna win the division, and they're probably gonna go to the playoffs. They haven't won a playoff game since George W. Bush's first administration. So can we all agree that if they win a playoff game, we can all be happy, right? Silence for like 5 seconds on the podcast. He goes, "It depends on how they win the game."
There you go.
No, it depends on how they win.
He wants it to be an aesthetically pleasing victory that breaks the streak.
How about if you bowl a 300 and you get 3 Brooklyn strikes? I mean, they don't care how they all go down, right?
Right.
Not aesthetically pleasing enough for our guy Judd. Nope.
Okay. Well, that's the way you guys
got lucky on that. Got lucky on that 8th frame.
Yeah. I don't foresee if they do make the playoffs. Hopefully they do. They got a little pitching. Like we talked before, they might surprise some people. Boys might get hot with the bats. Who knows? But there's not a number that you have to win if you're talking about how many games they've won. You don't have to have 100 wins to make it to the playoffs. They're lucky enough to be in a division that's not playing very well. Been there, done that, and it's when you can get hot and start playing the game right. Definitely on paper right now, you're not going to say these guys are going to walk through the playoffs, but you never know.
The one thing about that, and that was my question for you, Kent, and for Phil as well. Even though there was this one guy on I think it was on KQ, predicted before the season the Twins would win the World Series in '87. Do you see any connection, anything? He's laughing in the background. Do you
36 years you've been doing that, but go ahead.
That's true. Pretty much true. Do you see any similarities between, because that Twins team didn't win many regular season games. Nobody expected them to win the World Series, but it happened. Is there any chance that this team could pull off something similar to it?
Why not? I don't see
right.
There's injuries, blah, 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 this and that. Like I say, you need pitching when you start. They always talk about pitching in the playoffs, and their pitching is the one that's kind of gone through the year so far. They've been struggling a little bit of late, but, it's kind of been up and down. But the offensive part of the game has been tough for them. But, who knows? Maybe they're saving them all up for the playoffs if they make it. I mean, that's the whole thing. You're going to make the playoffs, and they'll start from there.
I hope. Look, I'll be watching the playoffs. It sure as hell looks like they're going to make the playoffs. I mean, there's a way to go, but not that much longer.
Right.
So,
they had that team, 2019 that broke the home run record, the Bomba Squad team. Right. But they had a really thin starting rotation. So they won 100 games, but then you get to the playoffs, and if you can't hit the 3-run home run, sometimes you go dry for a couple days hitting the 3-run home run, and then they wind up. And I'm not trying to disparage him, but like Randy Dobnak winds up starting a game at Yankee. They just didn't have the starting pitching. Right. I would actually, I'd rather have this starting pitching when it's at its best. I know Joe Ryan's injured, and but if you get everyone back and healthy by the end of the regular season, and then Duran at the back end with a lesser offense, I think this team actually has a better chance to do damage in the playoffs than the team that broke the home run record a couple years ago.
Right.
Right. Yep. I think that's a good way to look at things, I think. But like you said, everybody has to be on the same page, and you have to get hot and lucky even. And I think they are, they're primed to do something like that, because I think they've got a good enough offensive team. If they, the guys that have been struggling all of a sudden could get hot in October, and we might be watching them all the way to the end of October, hopefully. That's what you want to do.
I'm hoping. There's no question. I know you guys only got a couple of minutes left, so I got to bring up one. My favorite memory of being out at Rush Creek for this event that's going on today, and I can never remember his name because I thought he was a raging prick. The center for the Timberwolves.
Kevin Garnett?
Kevin Garnett. Yeah, there, exactly. Gee, how'd you know that's the one I meant?
Well,
just because
yeah.
But
Felton Spencer,
Felton Spencer, yes. The reason I bring his name up, I was standing there at the first tee because I used to be invited to these events, before I apparently they lost my phone number or something. But no, I was out there, and I was on the team following him. So he's on the first tee at Rush Creek. He swung. He had a big, big, long swing, obviously, because the guy's 7 feet tall. Big, long swing. And he hit so far under the ball on the tee that he put backspin on it. It went behind him and hit the building.
Oh, no.
I will never forget that as long as I live. Like, how the hell did you do that?
That's impressive.
Yeah, it is impressive. Phil Mickelson can do it on purpose. So I guess... it could happen, but I will never forget watching that ball hit the building behind him. Like, what the hell? It was amazing. That's a great event, by the way. And do you still allow? Do they still allow spectators at that course? That tournament, I mean.
I don't know. This is the first time they've done this one here this year. This is kind of an inaugural event.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So all the guys got into town, and they said, "Hey, you want to play golf?" So they're raising money for the Twins Community Fund out here. And
very good.
They got a full golf course, and all the guys that are into, a bunch of ex-teammates of Joe Mauer, and a few of us old codgers are running around out here. And I'm actually sitting in the cart right now with Mr. Carew.
So hello to Rod. I'm supposed to see him next month, as a matter of fact. I think he's going to be at State Fair with us.
Oh, there you go. So,
so.
Yeah. So we're going to go visit some folks on the golf course and enjoy the day out here.
By visiting people on the golf course, are you talking about the beer cart?
Yeah, we'll chase her around a little bit too.
You'll see them once in a while. I know you guys got to hit it, and Kent, you're busy. Phil, you got to get back. Say hello to Judd for me, if you would.
Yeah, I'll say hello to any former Twins in my dreams for you guys, too.
Oh, yeah. Keep us out of there. We don't need to be involved in that. I'm a married woman, thank you.
Yeah. Oh, it's Rudy and Brittany. Whoa, this is weird.
Hey, Phil, are you going to be at any of the games this weekend? You got to be there on Saturday.
I may be swinging by on Saturday. Would love to see. So, what's the over/under on the speech? Does he go over 10 minutes? Joe Mauer is not the most.
We're going to start throwing stuff at him if he does.
Okay. Just get him out of there.
The problem's going to be is Morneau is introducing him.
Oh,
well, yeah, he went a half hour at his.
Yeah. So we're going to have to. And it's going to be hot on the field and we're going to be sitting there sweating like pigs on the field, and then they're going to have to drag us off.
You'll be fine.
Just dump the Gatorade jug on Morneau if he gets too long.
Yeah, there you go. All right, gentlemen, enjoy your day. Thank you so much. Great report this morning, I thought.
All right.
Have a good day,
boys.
Thanks,
Quality stuff. All right, see you guys.
All the quality in the world. Ladies and gentlemen, Kent Hrbek, Minnesota legend Kent Hrbek, as it says here. Minnesota legend Kent Hrbek. Sports on the Tom Barnard Morning Show was presented once again by Killer Brew Old Fashioned Root Beer and Cream Soda. Begin your next memory at your favorite grocery or convenience store today. God, I wish I'd have known about that. I'll probably wander out there and watch them play for a while, but what are you gonna? But yeah, those events are pretty damn special.
They're fun. Stuff like that is so fun.
Raising money for the kids. Usually, it's all about the children.
Yeah, this one's the Twin Fund. So what does that mean?
I don't know what the Twins fund. I think that is for
the community fund where they build ballparks and stuff in
the
cities
to help kids play baseball. Correct.
Yep, that's why I understand it.
That's pretty damn cool.
Very cool.
I love working with those guys, both of them. Well, Hrbek's okay.
Hrbek's funny because he'll always go, all right, bye, guys, and girl.
And girl. He goes, and girl. That's how it should be. You should be very respectful of your position on this show, don't you think?
Go Twins, go Wild, and then go to bed.
Cheers to that.
He's a hell of a guy, no question about that. Yeah, if you've never seen something like that, whether it's football players, baseball players, basketball players, whatever, watching them play golf is really something else.
Yeah, that's super fun. I love that stuff. So many times we've, especially when you work in morning shows, you go do it in the afternoon.
Yeah.
And they always give you a golf cart, and you just get to run around like a fool.
The only thing I hated about that was watching Laudner play.
Yeah.
That boy can play golf. I'm here to
He's
tell
a
you.
good guy. I met him a couple times.
Well, Laudner's a great guy.
He's phenomenal.
He really is a great guy. I always tell the story of the 9th hole at Golden Valley. It's about 360 yards on like the par 4. So I hit my drive, and I got, I don't know, $120 in or something like that. This is back in the day. And about $120 in, he takes out a 2-iron and almost put it on the green. It's like, get away from me. I hate you.
Yeah, it's not a good feeling.
Honest to God. And he's got this beautiful, long, just really easy swing. It's not this, whipping the club at it.
Yeah.
Just a beautiful, long, extended swing. And, man, he can play.
That's
There's
cool.
No doubt about it. He's played a lot with Passolt, Laudner, and me. God, that was fun.
What a fun, yeah, that's a way to end the day, that's for sure.
I miss Passolt. When the hell are we going to get him back?
He's not dead.
But I don't ever see him. I talk to him once in a while, but I don't ever see him. Wow. Can I whine more about that?
Yeah, right? What do you want me to do? You want me to yell at Passolt?
Yes, you should. Yes, I want you to yell at Passolt. You're damn right. That's exactly what I want you to do, because it's time for him to come across.
Yeah.
Don't you think?
I would love, yeah, I don't know why he hasn't been on, in studio at some point.
He goes to Wisconsin. He goes to northern Wisconsin. He didn't come here anymore.
Yeah.
Oh, he doesn't have a place here anymore?
Yeah, the last time I talked to him, I'd asked him about coming in studio, and he was like, "Nah, I don't really spend a whole hell of a lot of time back that way." So,
no, he doesn't.
Yeah, I think the last time, day one, he was calling in from Florida, wasn't he?
Yep.
Yeah. So, yeah.
One of my favorite things was going up to the Passolt cabin back in the day. Paul Majors, Jeff Passolt, and I, with a bunch of other friends, Kendall Osgard, Kendall Norberg, and I don't think Osgard ever did go up there, but they would bring up Johnny Castino and all these people, and it was just, my God, that was fun. But I never had heard before that Wisconsin had run out of beer. I will tell you that. They called, "Hey, we're all out. Go back to Minnesota.
Please leave."
God, those times were fun. Just absolutely. Although they do things because it was sealed off. It was a private event. There were no public people there. So you'd come up on the hole and you'd look down. It's like, did somebody pee in this golf hole? It's like, yes.
Oh, that's disgusting.
Thanks a lot. I get to reach in and take my ball out after you peed on it. Thank you so much for that. No, those events are great, but we are very, very lucky in this town. Our baseball players, some of our football players, maybe one of our professional basketball players was a really decent guy.
We'll take it.
Yeah, we'll take it. There's no question. But no, there were a couple of them actually who became really good friends, and they just a lot of giving to the athletes in this. I suppose that's everywhere, though. I would imagine that professional athletes give of their time a lot. Don't you think?
I would hope so. I think in Minnesota, too, we're so, you can't just be an asshole for long. We don't tolerate that.
Are you kidding me? Half the people who live here are assholes.
I don't believe that.
I'm 100% with you, Tom.
Oh, God. Half the people are the worst people I've ever met.
You guys are the worst. You guys are the worst. Out of this room, 2/3 are the worst. So now I actually am on your side.
Boy, you got somebody in your pocket? Is that what you're saying? No, it's that whole passive-aggressive thing. I am just not a fan of that at all. Smile in your face and stab you right in the back.
You got a problem with me? Look at me and tell me you got a problem with me.
Right up front. Be a good thing. Like, I have a huge problem with what the hell's he does like a report on, I guess, the morning show. I can't remember his name. Tim Lammers, is that it?
I wouldn't. It's probably not worth mentioning.
Tim Lammers will join us right after this.
This is the Tom Barnard Morning Show. Listen live at tombernardshow.com or on the Tom Barnard Show app.
There's a guy named Tom Cross who likes to do kite things. Tom takes the phrase "go fly a kite" to an extreme, and for years goes all over the country in search of great kite flying events. Lincoln City, Oregon comes to mind, with Chinook winds and 7 miles of pristine beach that draws folks from all over North America for the best kite flying conditions in the world. Tom brings a little Minnesota with him when he goes to Lincoln City in his new 2109S Rockwood Mini Light travel trailer. The new lightweights from Rockwood are very popular. Tom hauls his trailer from Niemeyer Trailer Sales in Albertville and Elko New Market, Minnesota. Niemeyer Trailer Sales is the only place Tom would prepare his next kite flight. Solar panels, exterior griddle, air conditioning are just a few of the standard features in his Rockwood by Forest River, from the place that is your ultimate RV headquarters since 1965. This is Tom Barnard. Visit my friends at Niemeyer Trailer Sales and take your passion on the road. Niemeyer Trailer Sales. Go to NIEMEYERS.com. Niemeyer Trailer Sales. You need to know a guy for your auto repairs, legal issues, banking, and more. The same goes for investment advice. You need a guy to help you be successful, someone you can trust, who gets results. Well, I got a guy for you, Josh Arnold. Josh gives you straight talk, not sugar-coated advice about your financial situation. Josh has seen it all when it comes to economic and market conditions, and Josh can make sure that your retirement objectives match your investments. Do yourself a favor and call Josh now for a no-obligation, 48-minute evaluation. You've got nothing to lose, and you'll get a different point of view for your investments. Call Josh at 952-925-5608. That is 952-925-5608. You'll be glad that you did. And tell him his guy, Tom, sent you.
Investment services offered by Josh Arnold Investment Consultant, LLC, a security investment advisor. Past performance is no guarantee of future results. All investments involve risk. All comments and opinions are Josh Arnold's and do not constitute investment advice. Tom Barnard is a paid endorser.
Officer Dave and I were just going, yo, mammy, boy. Those are the days.
Yep.
Of your mammy boy. Ladies and gentlemen, Bradshaw and Bryant personal injury lawyers seeking justice for the injured. Contact Bradshaw and Bryant at MinnesotaPersonalInjury.com. That's MinnesotaPersonalInjury.com. Michael Bryant, Bradshaw and Bryant, bringing you Timmy Lammers. How you doing, Timmy?
What am I being arrested for?
What am I being arrested for?
What am I being arrested for?
I've never been arrested, so I don't know what that feels like.
Nor have I, because I comply.
Well, you come from a law enforcement family, too. That doesn't hurt.
No, that's not a pass, though, man. If I get pulled over, I
I understand.
Out, I put them in my fingers. I roll down the window halfway, put everything, hands where they can be seen. I'm not assuming anything, man.
No, I agree. Yeah. Put your hands up on the wheel.
Makes the officer's job a lot easy. And again, thank you, Officer Dave, for everything you do.
My pleasure, sir.
He doesn't do anything. What are you talking about?
The officer thing, it's just made up. He doesn't do anything.
Yeah, exactly.
No, speaking of officers, Tommy, I think you talked about this either on the family podcast last Tuesday or a previous one, or maybe here. And I totally stumbled across this series and remembered Tommy was talking about this. I watched episode 3 of Special Ops Lioness.
Oh.
Right. And then for some reason, this show called Deadlock.
Oh, Deadlock's phenomenal. LOCH. Yeah,
that's right. And it's, again, speaking of officers, Officer Dave, you might like this one because this is an investigative comedy, and it's a comedy. And that's the thing, Tom. I didn't realize, and when it first started, I thought, it's serious. And you said there was somebody in there in the cast that said the the big C word.
The big C word that she says it every episode about 10 times. It's unbelievable. It's like, whoa.
And so after a while, it's like, oh my God, this is really funny. And then I look it up and it says comedy. But it's kind of like a murder mystery sort of thing that's going on.
Yes.
But my God, what a funny show!
Isn't that a great show?
Oh yeah, and I think I've seen 2 or 3 episodes so far. But it's an Australian series. Broad Blanks would certainly be familiar with all the actors in here.
Oh yeah,
and they're all great. I mean, you just talk about all the talent that we're completely unaware of. And, so you get some really, really entertaining folks in this series. Tommy recommended it. It's actually a Prime series. My Paramount Plus and Prime are all tied into the same account.
Right.
So that's how it just, for some strange reason, popped up. And it's like, oh, that's right. This is the one that Tom was talking about. And instantly drew me in. I'm glad you brought it up, Tom.
You're going to love
Deadlock.
it. Yep. You're going to love every episode.
Amazon Prime. So I prefer Deadlock over this week's big theatrical release, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem.
God, again.
It's I usually peek at that rotten whatever score just to get the temperature of how people are feeling.
Yeah.
And everybody's just raving over the thing. I'm thinking, I've seen this movie now for the 7th time.
Yeah.
Because it started off as a live action series where guys were wearing suits, right? Mutant Ninja Turtle suits. And then in 2007, they rebooted it as an animated film. That didn't fly. Then they rebooted it, Michael Bay, as a live action / CGI thing where there were the turtles were all CGI.
Yeah.
Or motion capture. They were big and hulking and just massive and clearly computer animated or motion capture, whatever.
Right.
So, obviously they did a couple of those, and now we're on number 7, where they're taking it back to the beginning, thanks to our not friend, Seth Rogen.
Our not friend.
I'm not a big fan of Seth Rogen.
He's a pain in the ass. That's why.
Well, amazingly, he co-wrote this thing, and he has unless I missed it, because I had nodded off a couple times.
At least you're honest, Tim.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah. You gotta, and this was in the middle of the day, so I tell you. So yeah. So he was he voiced one of the side characters, and you can tell his voice. But the interesting thing about this is it is a PG film, so they are definitely going for a family audience here. So you don't there weren't any turtles smoking weed, okay? Not that, hey, it's illegal here. I mean, it would have been completely fine in Minnesota theaters, but no turtle smoking weed. You did get this one extensive gross out vomit scene, though.
Oh, Jesus.
Could have gone without that. Look, I think they're trying to mess with the formula a little bit here. They're switching things up. I think diehards of the Turtle comics turned animated shows, turned movies, might have some issues with it. So they switch up the story a little bit. It's an origin story again. They get slimed with ooze again, become mutated, as does the rat. Another one of my favorites, Jackie Chan, voices the rat, Splinter.
Mm-hmm.
Jackie Chan, who said America's the most corrupt country in the world.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. Much
He'll
worse.
cash that check.
Yeah,
exactly. Certainly will, won't he, Dave?
Yep.
So as you can probably tell, if this is first time tuning in, I don't put up with this Hollywood BS, okay? I just don't.
That's why I like you, Tim.
Well, thank you, David. That's why I like you, too.
You guys going on a date?
I know, like, you guys want this StreamYard alone? I'm like, talk about ass kissing.
Yeah.
Love
you
Britney.
guys, yeah.
Love Britney. Love her. Rudy, you're just okay, too. Sorry. Okay, so he's going to drop something on me now, sound thing. So anyway, no. So, it'll work for kids, though. It'll work for the audience. And again, this is not the be-all, end-all. I'm not the god of movies. I'm just telling you how I feel. And I also tell you how it should work for an intended audience, which I think it will, especially young kids who come in and aren't really familiar with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. The weird thing about this movie is that it's got this grungy animated style. I mean, it's dark and dank, and it's like Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse and Brittany, I know we talked about this. It's really trippy animation.
Yeah.
Okay. It's different. And this is like that, except for, again, it's trippy with the Spider-Man stuff. Here, it's just dark. Well, look, they're born in the sewers, right? So it should be dank and whatever. But it just feels really weird. I thought, God, this is a very strange form of animation to the point where it's almost creepy at times. So you're trying to appeal to kids with a PG film, but yet you got this kind of creepy tone going for it. So, but again, these movies, they tend to bring in all the big voice talent. Ice Cube is, you'll like this character's name, Tom, Superfly.
Oh, I love Superfly.
He's a mutated fly. He's Superfly. Okay, so Jackie Chan, as I mentioned, Ice Cube, and like you say, he's terrific as Superfly. So I like a lot of the people in the cast. Seth Rogen is just okay. Okay,
yeah, he loves doing that.
Yeah. So I'm giving it a 6.5 on the Lammometer. I'm not going to give it the hammer. Again, there's an intended audience. I'm sure it's going to be a big film. Again, I don't get the style of animation, but I just think sometimes you look at these movies that have been done so many times and they just want to give you something different.
Yeah.
Because if it isn't different, then they're just going to say this is the same movie. So they're going to try different things creatively to kind of set itself apart. I generally admire that sort of stuff. I rather would have seen it in stop motion animation, though. I mean, that's much more fascinating, this weird, trippy, creepy, whatever they're doing here. So whatever, 6.5.
I did learn something really interesting about this, Tom, and I think you might be interested. So Seth Rogen's done a lot of voiceover stuff for movies, and he said that most of the time you go into a studio, you're by yourself, and it's a very lonely, not interactive process. And I want to say it was The Lion King. The director said, no, I want these three characters, when they do their lines, to be together.
Yeah.
And he said that what a huge, big game changer that was. So Seth Rogen, when he made this Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the 4 young boys that play the turtles, he had them record all their interactions together. So much so, to the point that when they were hanging out, they would even have the recording on, and they would take some of that and input it in.
Yeah,
so there's this
good
huge
idea.
conversational piece, which I think is very interesting. I am not the demographic for this movie, but that alone has me going, oh, I'd love to see how that played out in the movie.
It's really rare that they do that. I don't understand why. I think a lot of times because you have these animated casts with so many big stars, they just can't get them all together in the same room. I know one other film they did that for was Rango with Johnny Depp.
Which you can tell.
Yeah, it's really, really rare. Yeah. You really get sort of an energy that you normally don't get. And we'll shout out those 4 young men, Brady Noon, Micah Abbey, Shamam Brown Jr., and Nicholas Cantu are the voices of the Turtles. So, yeah, I mean, again, this has got an intended audience. It's just not me. I'm here to tell you what I think. I'm here to tell you how I think the audience will react to it. And I kind of come down a little bit above the normal. Well, the Lammer Hammer rating is 5, so this is 6.5. So quickly on Apple TV Plus, this one is something, it's a really fascinating movie called The Beanie Bubble. So we had the Barbie movie a couple weeks ago. This is the story. It's partly true, and they admit up front that we made stuff up, but it's rooted in truth. Ty Warner, who created the Beanie Babies. You get to see the creation and how this thing grew exponentially. I mean, people were fighting in stores over these things, right? And then it got to the point where they oversaturated the market. And eventually, when you become drunk with power and drunk with money and excess and everything like that, it's usually not going to end well. And it didn't really end well for Ty Warner. So this is an actual narrative film. Zach Galifianakis is Ty Warner. There's a character named Robbie, played by Elizabeth Banks, who co-created the Ty company with Ty, and that relationship, as these things often happen. I mean, there's a power struggle, and he kind of looked down on all the women employees of his company, which is really stupid because they were the ones that really made things happen. So it's a really, really fascinating movie and very funny. I mean, it's a really funny look at this guy's rise and meteoric rise, and I guess it's a meteoric fall. He fell hard. I mean, we're talking about billions of dollars that this guy lost. when everything went bust.
Other than that,
So-
though, things are going well.
Other than that, things are fine. But yeah, the Beanie Bubble, it's new on Apple TV Plus.
Thank you, Timmy Lammers. Have a great weekend, sir. We'll talk to you on Monday.
And I love all of you. You're all
Oh,
wonderful.
shut up. I can't handle
we are
this.
the world.
To each other.
We are the children.
Bye, Tim. Have a good weekend.
To make a better day. All right, guys.
Talk to you later, pal. Ladies and gentlemen, Tim Lammers, sponsored by Bradshaw and Bryant. Personal injury lawyers, Michael Bryant, Bradshaw and Bryant, bringing you Timmy Lammers. That's going to do it. We'll talk to you Monday.